Hey, what's going on, Margie? Life is what, yo? Welcome in, welcome in. You're using the blah, blah, blah. Okay, got our phone overheating a little bit. How's everybody doing today? We're going to get started in just 1 second, guys. We're going to get started at 5 p.m. Pacific. Thanks for hanging out. Boop, boop, boop. We're going to share out the live. Let's see, share it out to a bunch of people. Let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? All right, we are sharing out the live. All right, we got Magna's last. Jimmy Park, welcome in, welcome in. How you doing? All right. Boop, 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 boop. We are currently, I'm sharing out the live real quick, guys. So just give me a sec here. Oh, I didn't know you could send it out in a group. Did you guys know that? Very cool. All right. Alex Rosa. All right, and just going through here. We got to get Bluegrass up in here. Where's Bluegrass? Come on. All right, there he is. Bam, bam, bam. Send separately. There we go. Okay. I shared it to as many people as I can. How's everybody doing today? Hey, Sportster, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Mel, welcome in. How's everybody doing? This is our live for Friday night, 5 p.m. Welcome in, everybody. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for the likes. I see you guys already tapping the screen. Thank you so much. Dexty Nation, what's going on, brother? How you doing? How you doing? Sportster Kid is also liking the live. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Dexter, I see you. I see you, man. How are you? Thank you so much for sharing out the live, guys. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the follows. Thank you for all of it. We are currently live on TikTok. We're live on Facebook. We're live on X and YouTube. We're also live on YouTube. So thanks for watching. I don't know if anybody watched the interviews that we did yesterday at the truck stop. We were in Portland, Oregon at the truck stop. We were just talking to drivers and seeing what the good, the ugly, the good, the bad, seeing what it all was. You know what I mean? Debbie Banks, 54. Welcome in. Welcome in. How's everybody doing today? Thank you, Dexty, for reposting. I appreciate it. Sonia, what is it? Sonia 325, I think it was. Welcome in. How you doing? Thanks for being here. I really appreciate every single one of you. We're going to get our little intro out of the way real quick, okay? Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Truckers Unite Now, hosted with Trucking the USA Today on Facebook. Our co-hoster is Sean, Samantha, and Mike with Pastime for a Change. Before we get started, we'd like to take a moment to talk about the kind of community that we are building here. This is a place built on respect, dignity, accountability, and the belief that every person deserves an opportunity to be heard. That's why we give people up to 3 minutes to talk, to speak. We believe conversations matter, and we believe that people matter. You matter, and you matter over here on YouTube. We're not here to create an echo chamber. Different perspectives are welcome. Honest disagreements is welcome. Tough conversations are welcome also. In fact, some of the most important conversations happen when people say things differently, right? All we ask is simple: respect the dignity of everybody that's on the show tonight. Sean, welcome in, brother. I'm glad you're here. Sean just showed up. We do not exclude people because they have different opinions. We do not expect everybody to agree here. What we do is expect is that everybody participates in a way to respect the humanity and dignity of other people around them. Thanks for sharing out the live, Sean. I see you. One of our principles is to protect human dignity. That means every person is welcome to participate. but no one is to diminish, to degrade, intimidate, or harm others. If someone becomes entitled, disruptive, abusive, or behaves in a way that damages the environment that we're trying to create here, you may be muted or you'll be put in a timeout. Not as punishment. Oh, no, no, not as punishment. We are adults here, right? But as a way to protect the conversations for the people that are participating in them. KSG, welcome in. There he is. What's going on, KSG? Thank you so much, Sean. I see you. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Welcome to the team, Mr. Sean. Welcome to the team. Our belief is that strong communities do not require constant enforcement. They require clear standards and people willing to uphold those clear standards. When the culture is healthy, most people naturally align with it. Those who do not usually decide for themselves that this is not the type of environment that they want for themselves, and that's okay. We are not here to tear each other down. We are here to strengthen one another. We are here to listen, to learn, to challenge respectfully, and to elevate the quality and the conversations throughout our trucking industry, our beloved trucking industry. Past time for change. Welcome to the team, brother. Thank you so much. Whether you are a driver, a spouse, an owner operator, a dispatcher, a broker, a shipper, a mechanic, or a truck stop cashier, or simply someone who cares about the future of trucking, we're glad that you're here. And thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your voice. Thank you for helping us build the kind of community that our industry deserves. Now, who's got something worth talking about? So here at Truckers Unite Now, here at Pastime for a Change, Trucking the USA Today. Where the heck did my sticker go? Here we go. WeTheTruckers.com. At all of these organizations, we highly encourage you guys all to be a critical thinker, to trust but verify, to do the research and educate yourself. Everything here is for entertainment purposes only, right? Everything here is for entertainment purposes only. The oligarchs make us say that. That's how fragile our people are today. So we're glad that you're here tonight. And I also did not say, Ken Carvey, welcome to the team, brother. Thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate that. Welcome to the team. We're glad that you're here. Here at Truckers Unite Now, like we said before, we give everybody 3 minutes to talk. You're safe here. You're at home here. You're safe here. You are with like-minded people. Whatever your gift is to bring to America, right? John F. Kennedy said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country," right? Whatever your gift is, you're safe here. You will not be put down. You will not be insulted. You will not be interrupted, or we will mute the people that are being disrespectful. So there's a lot of trucking shows out there. There's a lot of great trucking shows out there. There's some not good so trucking shows out there that like to tear people down, and that's not what we do here. The culture here is very friendly, very loving. We're not going to do that crap here. Do we disagree? All the time. Do we get passionate and heated? Sometimes. But what we don't do is disrespect each other, all right? If you're wondering why I'm looking back and forth, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and X on a second phone over here. And for you guys, we're also live on TikTok over here. So thanks so much for being here. Ken says, I was following you before. Yeah, Ken, I was banned. We're still being shadow banned. Man, when you tell the truth, brother, that's what they do. They ban the people that tell the truth. But that's okay because see, right there, he was following before you found me. You found me again. You found us again. So I'm glad that you're here. Yeah, we had almost 23,000 followers and then we were banned. But that's okay. We're not going to lie. We're going to trust but verify, and we are going to continue to give the people the truth. Ken, there's a page over on Facebook called Trucking the USA Today. And on that page, you will find a lot of statistics in the trucking industry about all the scams and corruption and the gifts that are going to Congress and Senate to pass laws that don't benefit folks like you and me, the blue collar middle American worker. So that's what we do here. We're pushing back. We're pushing back on autonomous. We think it's dangerous. We think a lot of people will be unalived, and it's not okay. And we don't want that to happen. We love our families. We love our people, and enough is enough. So everybody that's here, thank you so much for being here. And your co-driver, Heart Driven, Sean just said to check your DM. So check your DM, brother. I think Jen's got something there for you. So Ken Carvey, welcome to the team, brother. Thank you so much for being here. If anybody wants to come up and talk, tonight's live is we're going to talk about mental health without uh, without Uggs. Am I allowed to say that? Without hugs and liquid, if that makes sense. You know, we got to talk for the sensitive owners over on these social media platforms. So, yep, Sean says, okay, I will do my best. I don't know how to pronounce that. Virtual TH, welcome in. We're glad you're here. So yeah, we are independent journalists in America. We are American commercial truck drivers. We are advocates for the trucking industry, and we fight crime with truth in numbers and building communities that are willing to push back against the government, for example, right? The government, I want to remind everybody, Ken, you especially, the government is our employee. All right. I'm not advocating for violence in any way, shape, or form. So don't think that. What we are advocating for is to remind you that the power lies in you, the people. The power lies in you, the people of the United States, is who runs the government. The people that are our representatives, they are just people that work for you and work for me. They are our employees. We tell them what to do. We tell them what our pursuit of happiness is, and they do it. 1776 says, I'm a driver. Or hold on, let me back up. Ken Carey says, I hate that because of the scammers. I got to prove each load that I'm legit. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're trying to stop, brother. Slowly we are making an impact, dude. The work that we're doing here, FMCSA is watching. Trust me. The more pressure we apply, the more we push back, the more we are gonna get our country back, because there's too many people here scamming the system, and we're tired of it. 1776 says, I'm a driver. Is that what you think? And the government thinks they own you. Exactly. Exactly, 1776. But they don't own us, do they? They are just an employee that we tell them what to do. It's that simple. So we're here to remind everybody of that. You are more powerful than Donald Trump. You are more powerful than Congress and Senate. Doesn't matter what anybody else says. It's the truth. If you are an American citizen, you are more powerful than them. They just run to the House of Representatives and they do what you say. All right? Or they should. Now, right now, are they working for us? I don't think so. No, I don't think they are. But what I do know is that we can get it all back if we push back together. It's going to take numbers. It's going to take a lot of numbers, right? So it's that simple. Ricky Grace, welcome in. Ricky Grace 3, welcome in. What was the other thing? So tonight's topic is mainly going to be about mental health. Mental health in the truck without hugs and liquids, if you guys know what I'm saying. Your co-driver, welcome to the team. Thank you for the heart me. Ken, thank you for the gifts. I appreciate that. Thank you for the finger hearts. Mental health. Okay, so I'll be vulnerable. I'll be the first one. And anybody that wants to join, feel free to come up. Don't be intimidated. You're perfectly safe here. And anybody that wants to jump in on this, or we could talk about other stuff too. But I'll go first. So I'll be vulnerable. It's hard to be a truck driver with your mental health because you're dealing with your family, right? You're constantly dealing with the spouse wanting more time with you. Your dispatch or your broker is wanting you to complete the load. So you're focused on that. You're mainly focused on that. But also all the problems that are happening at home, you're dealing with that. You're dealing with all the regulations and the rules and laws and everything else we have. And it gets to be too much, right? And we're in our truck. driving 11 hours a day with all of that in our head, right? Old school, welcome in, man. How you doing? What's up? How
Yeah,
you doing,
brother,
man?
if you allow me, I just want to say a little quick prayer. I know you're a believer. I don't know if you
Yeah,
allow me to do that or not.
sure.
Exactly for what you said. Okay, Heavenly Father, today I want to pray for our brothers and sisters on the road every day, Father. You see what we do. You see our hearts. You see our struggles, Father. I'm also going to pray for their families, Father. You know, we leave the home and we let the partners handle the household, which is extremely difficult, Father. We ask you for you to take over the homes, take over the roads, Father, and walk with us every single mile. Today, Father, I'm going to ask for you to continue providing not only provision, but also strength, wisdom, and discernment so we can continue to do what you call us to do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Great, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. Um,
Yeah, I just wanted to say, thank you guys for having a little piece of heaven here in hell that sometimes it feels like it is.
yeah.
I like you guys' position on just letting everyone have a voice, and that's respect and love for every single one of us. That's something that's been lost. So I appreciate you guys for having this little safe place here amongst us. You guys are awesome. You guys have a lot of wisdom, a lot of humility, but also a lot of strength and very intelligent men and women on this group. So I want to say that. And me working with those individuals for the past 12 years, and I know what it feels like. Sometimes you feel you're all alone. Sometimes you feel you're going to be judged. Sometimes you feel you're going to be discouraged, but just being vulnerable.
Yes.
You're not alone. You're never alone. There's a lot of truck drivers that are going through the same thing you're going through. I myself went through a couple of divorces, being out here on the road 37 years. I cried on the steering wheel many times. I had to reach out to brothers and sisters that helped me come out of that place. So thank you for speaking about this important matter. Not many have the space to do it. Uh, Me myself, I have my DM open. I'm willing to listen, willing to walk with anybody that's struggling. I, I know I was, and somebody came and walked with me. So feel free. Feel free that you're human. You are loved and respected, and you're not alone. I believe this great group here, amongst other groups, are here for you. You're not alone. Don't feel you have to carry that big cross by yourself. We're here for you. If anybody needs to talk to somebody, anybody has questions, reach out. Reach out because you're not alone. We're in this together. So I just want to say that I wanna recognize you guys for being awesome. I know you guys have a heart of gold. Uh, so I just appreciate your taking the time to do something more than rates, brokers, transparency, and all that above. The most important asset in trucking is you. And coming back to you, being the most important thing is what's all about. We do care, we do love you, and you don't have to be alone. Thank you. That's awesome what you guys are doing, and that's awesome that you guys taking the time to make sure everybody's okay out there. I love that. Thank you, Vince. Thank you, Sean. Thanks all of you that are in here. I know there's a lot of great people on here that knows what trucking's all about.
Man, well said. I couldn't have said it any better. Yeah. A lot of the time, Sean actually came up with the idea earlier. We were talking and he said, we always discuss before the live, like what we're going to do, what we're going to talk about. And he's like, why don't we do like a little special on mental health, but let's exclude the hugs and the liquid, if you know what I'm saying in code here, right? Because a lot of people, when we talk about it, a lot of the talk about the mental health with the truck drivers because they're under the influence of something, right? If you just simply take away that under the influence, then you're talking about two different types of mental health, right? If I go to the casino and I get hammered, that's a different type of mental health if I'm under the influence as a truck driver than being completely sober as a truck driver, right? So there's tons of people that have mental health as truck drivers. Me alone, man, it's not easy. Raising a family, like watching the years go by, is wearing on me. Like half my kids' childhood is already gone. I've already missed, 15 anniversary. I've been close to divorce 5 times because of this job, right? And many other aren't even that lucky. Most truck drivers aren't even that lucky. Like I know I'm fortunate compared to the average truck driver, right? Most folks, it's almost impossible to hold on for most folks to a marriage because it's like military members going to war or going on deployment. Most people they don't stay married. It's very very difficult. So the mental health is it's a big thing, man. It's a big thing. You know. Yeah. What do you think, old school? How many years you been driving?
I've been on the road for 37 years. I, I've been through the struggles. I hit home. Like I said, I've been divorced twice. I had to raise 4 daughters from the road. I learned maybe for the past 15 years to reset at home. So that brought back a lot of value into quality time with the family. But sometimes we don't have the luxury of doing that. Sometimes there's a demand for us to continue working, to continue being inside that cubicle, and that takes a toll on you. By the grace of God, I learned to hit the Bible instead of being bored and thinking a lot of madness.
Right.
I just got into the Word of Christ, and that's what encouraged me and lighten up my burden. So, but thank God that I found that peace, and that was able to make sense of the struggles in a cubicle. But not a lot of them. We got to remember when we're on the road, sometimes we see things that we never expect to see. I talked to guys that somebody jumped off a bridge, and they were the ones that impacted that person. There was sometimes people jump on the middle of the road just to end it all, and sometimes you're that driver. Sometimes we've
Yep.
been in accidents that are not your fault, and there is an unfortunate event there. And how do you deal with these things? I've talked to many drivers, and you know what? By the grace of God, just being able to walk with them, uh, they're able to recover. Just listening to them, giving them alternative ways of thinking. It might all of a sudden dawn on them. So you don't have to cope. You can deal with this and be not only a survivor but be victorious in these events and turn that dark moment into a tremendous light as a testimony after overcoming. So that is powerful in there. There's also a lot of brothers and sisters that serve this beautiful country of ours, but sometimes they feel the government's not taking care of them, that nobody cares, and they come back different. I have family members, including a daughter, that didn't come back the same. So there's a journey in there that is challenging. But when you have strong people that care, that love, and that are patient and willing to walk with them, it makes a world of a difference. That's why I respect you guys. I support you guys. And I love that you are looking for the brother and sister that are struggling out there. So hats off to you guys.
Yeah, all we have is each other, right? We tell people all the time, if we want the industry fixed, we have to stop thinking that the government's going to fix it for us. FMCSA, OOIDA, none of those people care. They go home. Well, they might care, but they go home every night. They're not out here. They're not experiencing this 73 square foot rolling prison, right? That's what I call it. I call it my rolling prison because that's what it is. This is trucking has given me everything and it's taken everything from me. It's strange. It's like the strangest thing. It's given me a life, but it's taken away my life. It's like all the above in one. It's really strange. But mentally, man, that's how I ended up in DC a year ago, right? I was getting ready to do something really foolish. I'm sure you can read between the lines. I was waking up every morning and I'd look at my keys and I'm just like why even start the truck? Like why? What's the point? Like I'm trading my life, my skill set that I've learned and I've gotten become really well at doing. I'm trading my life, my sacrifice, my family for something that is not rewarding me for it. why am I doing this? This is silly. But you're fighting all the scams out there. You're fighting all the people that don't have chameleon carriers, cabotage. You're fighting just so many different barrage of scams that are going on, and everybody's in our pockets, man. Both, like Sean says, both hands in each pocket. Now it's parking. That's $4,000 a year more out of our pay now on average. About 4K. I can't afford 4K a year, right? I'm supporting six people, like many of you. $4,000 a year. Trucking is becoming like, what's the point? It's better to work at Home Depot. And that's sad. This is a lifestyle, and it's an awesome industry to get into. That's what we're fighting for. Old school is, I would love to see drivers, work 4 or 5 days and take off 2 3 days and get paid 3 times more than they're getting paid now, so they can have their lives back, so they can go enjoy their hobby, their family, their friends. Like, we need to get out of the truck and start doing more stuff, right? Sean says it, Robert Murphy says it. Get out of this truck. I started doing it about 3 months ago. I started just, you know what, I don't care anymore. I literally can't work hard enough to make anybody happy or to make enough money. So you know what? I'm going to start becoming smarter. I'm going to start really focusing on what loads I take, what my empty miles are. I'm going to become better at business. I'm going to get better at everything so that I can buy back my time, basically. So if we could teach that to everybody, that'd be great. But I'm talking too much. Old school, do you want to hang out for a minute, or do you have anything else? We're going to get to Axel here. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I just want to say shout out to Kathy, to Sam, to Mike, to Mitch, all the great human beings on here. So I'm glad to see a great group environment here. Also, Jane and the other Mike. I'll step down, brother. I got let somebody else get there. 3 minutes. Thank you. God bless you guys.
Awesome. Later, old school. Always a blessing to talk to you, brother. Take care. All right. Sean, did you have something to say, or we're going to go straight to Axel? Okay. Axel, welcome in, brother. How are you? Welcome back, I should say. We're good, man.
I think I got mental health from dealing with this.
Don't we all? Yeah.
But listen, man, there's a lot of drivers out there, and you see all these groups and everything, but the drivers are not going to talk about their problems. Really, they just you can't suppress your problems. A lot of guys come out with family problems, girlfriend problems, whatever problems, so they just sit in the truck, and it'll just intensify. I think there needs
Now,
to be like just like
Axel,
police and fire and stuff take
uh,
the mental examinations, military. I think truckers need them.
why do you think truck drivers? Because you're right. Like, I'll be vulnerable for a second. I think, like, for me, I don't talk about mental health a lot because I feel like I'm going to lose my CDL, or someone's going to make me take a bunch of classes, or someone's going to judge me, or something like that. You know what I mean? Instead of getting help. And that's how it is for hugs and liquid too. A lot of people won't go get help because they don't want the law's definition of help. They want true heart help. You know what I mean? It's two different things. It's like calling the cops on somebody. Like, sometimes police need to be involved in situations, yes, but they don't need to be involved in every situation. Sometimes, like a vet, I had a vet that I was really good friends with down the street, and he would go through these episodes. He had PTSD really bad, and sometimes neighbors would call the cops on him. He'd just get in a bunch of trouble, and he'd be the exact same way the next day. But you know what did help? Going over there and giving him something to live for, letting him get things off his chest, exercising, taking a little vacation, like things that actually worked on the problem. And I think that's what's happening in the trucking industry. A lot of truck drivers, they're afraid to talk about it because, well, what's going to happen to me if I open up? If I'm honest that I'm struggling, if I'm honest that I'm scared of losing my wife and kids, or can't make enough money, like, what's going to happen to me, right? Or I'm thinking about ending something, if you know what I mean. A lot of people are afraid to speak about it. So what can we do? What do you think we could do to get truck drivers to open up? Just be there for each other, basically, right?
I look at it a little bit tougher way. You're in an industry, you're in a truck where you can harm people. So if something bothers you, you gotta go talk to somebody. I'm not saying you gotta blast it all over social
No, you're
media.
right on that. Yeah,
Yeah,
safety
but
first. You're right.
and the second is life. Do not waste your life over a truck. This
Right.
industry, listen, if you gotta go work Home Depot, go work Home Depot. But set yourself up so you can make your life simpler.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Don't I know once you get in the truck, it's like you're running, you're running, you're running, you're running. And this is America. This country is on full speed. It's not like you
Never
go to Europe,
stops.
they don't give a damn. You know,
Yeah.
I got family in Greece. When it's nap time, it's nap time. But this
Right.
country, in general, not even trucking, is meant to go fast. So I've been going in the other guy's truck group, Matt Gerhardt. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
over the years,
yeah.
he got investment properties, this and that. So you have to invest in your future, not invest in trucking. You have to invest in your future.
Yes.
And the best ones to do it are the younger guys, but some of them aren't taught. They don't come from those backgrounds, or they don't have the education. A lot of times you're sitting in a truck. If you got a day off, trade stocks or something. Learn how to trade stocks, but don't treat it like gambling. You know,
It's
save a little money.
it's
Say I'm gonna buy a property. You know, even if it's land, we don't have to pay that much tax. Don't worry about it every year.
right. Yeah, it's funny you say that because that's my mind. The last 6 months, that's what I'm in the process of doing right now, making passive money. How, researching and educating myself on how to make passive money and how to buy back my time instead of dwelling on it. Action, right? Instead of talking about it, action. How do I get to these places? So I'm close. I'm close. Um, I think though another part of it is like you go to the truck stops. It's like yesterday, I was doing interviews. You should have seen how happy a few drivers were. Just the fact that I came up and started talking to them, thanking them for what they did. They were like shocked somebody even wanted to talk to them. And after like 20, 30 seconds, they were happy, man. They like lit up like a Christmas tree. Just the fact someone was talking to them, asking them about their job or what they were doing. I feel like we've been programmed, taking the CBs out of the truck. We've been programmed to just be alone because they know how powerful we are if we're together. If we're truly togethers, we're brothers and sisters like back in the 70s, 60s, we're dangerous to a lot of folks that are making millions off our back. But
You
if
know,
go ahead.
one other thing you got to consider that's changed over since whenever internet and everything. People don't socialize. So even
Bingo.
you getting out of truck, you're socializing, but a lot of people are programmed. They don't socialize. They don't want to. I've gone up to the other drivers before, even on our side, and try to talk to them, and they're like, whatever. Okay, fuck into that.
Right.
Some of them have like I'm better, or they think that you act like you're better. They don't want to talk. Everybody needs to get over all that nonsense. Hey, how's it going, man? How's the weather? Where you from? You know, but nobody wants to communicate.
Right.
I can go out in town, and see a little old lady, and I moved down south, so I'm from the north. They noticed me right away, and I start cracking jokes with them, talking. Well, I ask you, where are you from?
Right.
Walmart. I'll be pushing the cart. We just gotta learn to talk to people. People
Yes.
lost that skill of
Yes.
talking to people.
Bro, okay, so when I first went over the road, I didn't even notice it, but after 3, 4 years when I was saving for my house, I was over the road. I was only home like a day and a half to 2 days a month, right? And I did this for 2 years. I didn't notice it, but after I kind of came back home, bought my house, I had started noticing like before I went over the road, and before that I was regional, right? So but once I went over the road and experienced it for myself, I thought I was totally normal, but what my wife was telling me, and a lot of friends that knew me before that, I was very social, I was very outgoing, I was very talkative, whatever, right? I could make friends easily. I could go into a group of people, not nervous or scared to talk to people, none of that, right? Uh, but after I went over the road, I got to a point where I was like weird. I didn't know how to talk to people. I couldn't hold a conversation. I didn't know how to look people in the eye anymore, and it was like awkward, right? Like I didn't want to be around people. I just wanted to go back to my truck and be alone and have peace and be able to hear myself think. But we're not designed that way. We are social creatures. If the pandemic didn't teach us anything, it should teach us that we are social creatures. Just like rabbits or deer, we want to talk to each other. So not all of us, of course. There's a few exceptions to the rule, but if we don't talk to each other, I think that's where we go nuts. I think that's why truck drivers, have these mental health issues, some truck drivers, because How often are we talking to people? A shipper? Oh, what door you want me to go into? Door 4. Okay, thanks, man. Have a nice day. Do you have my receipt for the pump? Or you buy your grocery. You talk to a cashier. That's it. That's all we talk to.
So Vince, let's break it down. What's the cause of mental health? For example, a lot of mental health could be an owner operator, right? They can't afford to buy tires, right? He's stressing out because he can't afford them to run, and he knows he has to. He can get hemmed up. Let's talk about company drivers, right? That they can, when they're budgeting and they get down and they go into that fuel card and they take a advance and then they live from advance to advance and they can never get ahead in the trucking world. These are the things that let's try to like make a list of what creates the mental health in the industry and see if we can tonight. Let's see if we can
All right.
all come together and have these conversations as what actually would start mental health, and then how would we interact with it. Because I mean, there's so much stuff that
Let's start.
in this industry that creates it. It's the stepping stone. It's the gateway to have mental health issues. So like you were talking about, not saying the hug thing. That to me, that is part of mental health, but that's my picture. But like the mental health part that I'm talking about would be maintenance causes it, dispatch, right? Company drivers.
Rules and regulations. Regulations.
Brokers calling you nonstop on the phone. How do you deal with this? How do you deal with people calling and having these conversations and you're rushing, right? So like, hey, you gotta be there by 3 o'clock. You gotta get this hurry up. And you're like drowning in sweat. You're trying to get some water. You want to stop at a truck stop to get out. You can't because you got to hit that 200 miles because you're not going to make it on that appointment time.
Yep.
How do we as an industry as a whole and in this live tonight, let's talk about what are the mental health
Damn.
we recommend, because to me, like some of the things that we do, we can fix them by doing diaries, right? You're talking about getting out and having the conversations, but how do we notice the stats, right? But like, let's break the program that we say, hey, you know what, this guy's starting to fall down this path. Like make it like the AA part, right? So we're going to call it the mental health and trucking. It's there, but let's
Yeah.
find that path. Everybody come up and give us some thoughts like we do with
I love it.
the 3 things of the industry. Let's do 3 things right now of mental health that are there and how we overcome and conquer the mental health problems in this industry because there's a lot.
I like it. Let's start with
break it out.
let's do it. Let's start with trucking history. Trucking history. Welcome in. We're glad you're here. How are you?
Thank you. I actually just wanted to say I did a video on this. June is Men's Health and Mental Awareness Month. And what
Sweet.
people don't realize is your mental health can affect your physical health, and your physical health can affect your mental health. And it's not always the guy that's grumpy. It's not always the guy that's frowning that might be the one with the mental health problem. There's a creator that just did a video of 2 gentlemen at a baseball game going every game. One's kind of happy and one's kind of sad. And they go through 6 or 7 times going to the game. And then something happens with mental health. And the one that was not there was the one that was happy all the time.
Yep.
So you have to be really observant. Changes in personality, things like that. It's harder for us as truck drivers because we don't see each other a lot, But I think what you need to do is find one little thing to change positively and work on that. Let's just start with one, anything. Instead of drinking soda, drink water. Because when you're not feeling good, you kind of get depressed and down, and it's like, and vice versa. Mentally, when you're depressed, you don't want to take care of yourself physically the way you should.
Correct.
And especially being on the road, it's hard to get health care, in a timely manner, and you put it off. I got to make some money. I got to take care of my family. Well, if you're not taking care of you, you're not going to be there. take care of your family.
Yep.
So I think we just need to watch out and it'll, try to help each other. Like Sean said, say hi. Like I try to help drivers if I can when they're struggling. And a lot of people say, well, they always say no. You know what? If they say no, you go on to the next one.
Boom.
You don't give up.
Or you don't
If
give
you're
up with
not
that
part of
one.
the yeah, if you're
Yeah.
not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, and I believe that. So you all need to take care of yourself just like us ladies do. But I think men, the same thing with mental health. We're the man. We can't cry. We can't be weak. Last year's theme for men's mental health awareness was actually it's not weak to speak. You know, so reach out if you're struggling. I even tell people on my videos on mental health awareness, DM me. I'll talk to you. If I can't help you, I'll find somebody who will.
Yeah.
We need to raise each other up and help each other. You know, one driver at a time, if that's what it takes. So
Yeah.
that's all I have to say. So,
So, when you what would you say the three things that would lead up to mental health for the industry? Like, money wise, or, like, what would be your three things that can trigger you into mental health real fast? Stress, or, what I mean?
um, well, see, I'm a little different. I run local. I run Chicago every day. um, I think it's the pressure. With me, I am nonstop going because I do 2 full turns a day and I don't have time, so it's pressure all day long, mental pressure with the driving. And second is probably, for me, it's not the money, but I think sometimes it can be the attitudes others have towards drivers, that we don't have a worth, or we're just a commodity to a lot of people. We're not, they don't see us as a person, and that's kind of hard to take. I'm very social, you know so yeah, sometimes that can bother me. I'm a person. um, and the third one for me is probably physically being in that truck and having to drive and sit there and not getting out and away from that truck, just to take a walk. I do try to do that when I can, in places I can, just to get away from that hunk of junk. You're in there, stuck in there with yourself and your own thoughts. And sometimes you go over them so many times, they end up seeming worse
Yep.
than they really
Yep.
are. You get out of control mentally. So I think being stuck in the truck and not taking a break, just getting out, getting out of the truck, if you have to, just getting out and forgetting about it for 5 minutes. Think of something positive, or enjoy a sunrise. Or the other day I saw 3 families of geese with little baby geese, goslings, and just appreciate stuff. Nature helps me a lot, but get out of that tin can. Walk
Yeah.
around.
Yep. Read a book. Trucking by the Grace of God says read a book. Absolutely. Old school. Thank you so much. Appreciate the gift. Um, yeah, no, I would agree. Robert Murphy was the one actually that like 5, 6 months ago he told me he was like, I used to run really as hard as I possibly could and try to make everybody happy. Old school with the cowboy hat. I used to try to make people happy. I used to, just try to do extra loads and do everything for people. And he goes, it got to the point where it was never enough. So he goes, you know what? Deb and I now, we enjoy our life. We stop and we go in a restaurant, we talk to people. We stop and talk to people. We go for walks, we take the dog out. We actually live our life. If we want to stop somewhere, we stop somewhere. The load is not always first. Of course, unless you say you're going to be somewhere at a certain time, right? But I think that's hard for a lot of drivers to do, especially with what we just went through with the rates so low. It was really, really hard for drivers to do that because everybody's running so hard just to pay their bills or keep up with the life that they have created for themselves, right? Their house, their family, whatever lifestyle you've created for yourself. man, until just a month ago, it was hard to keep up. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that's changed. Axel, were you going to say something?
Two things. One, it's not just about truck drivers. You know, you get in a truck driver, you get mental health. A lot of people got to understand some people aren't built for certain things in life. They can't handle pressure. They can't handle this position, but yet they come into it. The thing is, with the hugs and kisses, whatever you guys keep talking about, some people are built weaker. They turn to that stuff. So, but you have to understand, you can't look at them. And I always use this. You know, you see an old lady, right? You think she's sweet and she's nice. And you could go back 30, 40 years and take a look at her. She probably had a crazy history. But we always assume, whether you're old or you're a truck driver or you're a veteran, that you're like, you know, you're special. You have to understand how they grew up too. A lot of times you're not going to know. They could have been abused. They could have had other issues at home. Another thing, truck drivers keep running, running, running. They have big families or crazy wives, and you just keep buying and adding more bills. Some people cannot handle finances. Some people have to stop and say, listen, why am I paying for this, this, and this? I'm working extra
Amen.
hard and chasing this freight and creating this stress for myself. Or have three new cars at home, but you're never even home to enjoy the cars.
And that's hard for a lot of people to hear. What you just said, that took me years to finally get that through my thick dome. It did. It took me years to realize that I didn't need this subscription. I didn't need this product. Consume, 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 right? Um, so Axel,
One
oh,
last thing.
go ahead.
She brought up the part about the baseball guys, the smile and stuff. During COVID, I had a friend, Guatemalan friend,
Oh,
great guy,
can't say COVID,
nice guy.
brother. I gotta drop you. Come back around, Axel. I'll let you finish that, but we're not allowed to say that word here, or they will ban the entire life. I'm so sorry, brother. Come right back. I'll let you say your last thing. Samantha, welcome in. What do you got?
Hey Vince,
Hey.
just so glad to be here with you guys today. Um, you know, there are so many reasons why we struggle with mental health, just in the world that we live in today. One, and then when you work in a profession that for 50 years they told you that they value you less and less, you become an item on a spreadsheet. You're looked at as an expense rather than an asset. You're seen as a liability, when you're in fact the backbone of what keeps the whole country running. So, so feeling mental health issues, that only makes sense. And even when we look at that part that we're not talking about today, the hugs and
And the liquids. Hugs and liquids.
So almost every time the reason for that is a need to escape. And we just live in a world where people they need to escape a world that is not palatable to them. This industry has become not palatable. We had a discussion on LinkedIn day before yesterday. Sorry about the dog; he's lost his mind. But we had this discussion about, we keep talking about driver shortage. What we forget is that there are literally thousands of dormant CDLs because those CDL holders voted on this industry with their feet. They decided that this was no longer palatable and they weren't going to continue. The thing about creating a culture is, when you create a strong culture where standards are raised and the way that we treat each other, we raise the standards of how we do that, then you create a life for people that they can not only tolerate, but they can thrive in. And that's why what this industry is doing now, the way that you guys are coming together, that's why it's so important, because you're creating a world that people aren't sick and tired of. You're creating a world that they've seen somewhere in the back of their mind for years, but they thought they were the only one. They thought they were crazy. They thought they were the only one who could see it. And there's thousands of you out there with that same vision, and you just never had the vocabulary to talk about it before. And now you're talking about it. And that's what's important about what's happening here. And that's why I love you guys so much.
Well said. Well said, Samantha. Thank you so much for that. User S, or sorry, user 539. How you doing? Welcome in. Good, good. Oh man, you can change that. I think once a month or once every like 2 weeks. Just saying that. Gotcha. Every 7 days. Yeah, it's all good, man. What's on your mind? What three things do you have for mental health? What do you think makes truckers, you know, think too much?
Receiver and shippers keeping us long.
Okay.
If they don't get us out, they gotta pay like fine.
So anxiety from shippers and Cosinese, basically.
Especially in the reefer division.
Yeah, I have a.
Receiver down in Georgia. Give me an entire day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it happens more than we like, doesn't it? And a lot of the time they're not paying for detention or overlay pay, or the broker keeps it. They feel like they earned that somehow, you know. Not all the time. There's the exception to the rule. There's a lot of good brokers out there, but there's a lot of brokers that are not honest with that. Yeah, they're shady. Yeah, there's a lot of drivers that are shady. So that's what we're doing here, brother. We're building a team of brothers and sisters that we look out for us, because at the end of the day, who is going to look out for us? If you're going through it mentally and you're having a hard time, who are you going to reach out to? And I'm gonna say something that I told a really good friend of mine that was struggling and attempted to, I don't think I have to say the word. This was about 3 weeks ago. And this person told me, well, I did reach out to someone, but they weren't available. And I'll tell everybody what I learned in counseling like 20 years ago. I went to counseling for some stuff, and I had learned in those counseling sessions, don't just have one or two people in your phone that you can rely on to call if you need help. Have 4 or 5 people that you can count on, that you can call and 24/7, that are willing to take that phone call, because the first or second person you call, they might be legitimately busy. They might be sleeping. People have lives, right? If you just depend on one or two persons to save your life, then you're going to be in trouble. I more would have, let's have 3 or 4 minimum that we can rely on. That way, if the first one's busy, you go to the second one. If the second one's busy, and so forth. You know what I mean? That way, 1 out of 4, you're going to get an answer. 1 out of 1, 50-50 shot, right? People sleep. People have events they need to go to. People are working. People are on the other line. So, it's always best to have that. What it,
So when you're saying that being at a shipper, are you talking about like the mental part of like we can't leave that shipper until we're loaded, so you feel like you're stuck or you're held against your will, as I would say it. You can't just like say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna draw my trailer, go down to the truck stop, grab a bite to eat, and get out of this truck because you're there, right? So I think that's what I just wanted to make it clear that I knew what you're talking as far as that that extra prison. You're still on that truck, but you still can't leave at your will because you're going to lose your load. So you're sitting there all day long for many, many hours, thinking in your head, like you're saying. Like, yeah, it's another.
yeah. Yeah. Well, user, thanks for coming up, brother. I'm going to give you a follow. We're going to get to some other drivers here. All right. Thanks so much, brother, for coming up. Of course. Go ahead.
So yesterday, I was on TikTok and I saw a really good driver basically reacting to a bad driver because I guess one Warner driver maybe just started his career. Came and knocked on that driver's door. That driver that got knocked on the door came up to that guy, and the Warner driver apologized 3 times. and then that guy hit him for no reason.
Wow.
So
Wait, the guy that got woke up? I don't understand. The guy that got woke up? Gotcha. Well,
So that's another process in it, right? The outrage, right, of anger. When you are talking to these guys, mental health, you have reactions, right? So when you're feeling bad and down, the best thing, you're looking for some way to escape. So a lot of people use anger to escape their problems. Like, Axel saying, hey, they can't manage their money or they buy and buy and buy. Now they're sitting there struggling. And the only way you can do is like go, hey, it's not my fault. It's, and then you're looking for that big guy to, just give him the old 1-2. That is just, that is a real bad part of mental health is the scapegoats to utilize their stress relief. Some people use anger to get stress relief. You look at them, they go to the gym and they, beat on the bags. And some guys, they do remodels and they go in there and, break drywall. So, I mean, when that mental health part of it is, yeah, I can see it definitely when we're seeing it in the truck stops at the fuel island. Two people going at it. One person, or maybe even both, is having mental health issues, and they're both trying to release it out. So it's it's another good point that you're bringing up. Watching this go out in the truck stops.
that's right.
yeah, hurry up with us on the road that cars act like we're just big paydays.
Yeah,
We don't need to yell out at each other.
it's crazy, man. Well, thanks for coming up, user 5. Come back and see us.
Let me up.
You're welcome, man. You can come back in line if you want. All right. Have a good one.
Alrighty.
All right. Bye bye. So, a separate side note before we get to ice, man. My suggestion on waking up a truck driver, I would highly, highly encourage everybody on the planet Earth to not wake up a truck driver. Even if they're parked in a no parking zone, if you're not law enforcement, I would leave that truck driver alone because some truck drivers that are only getting 4 or 5 hours sleep don't exactly do well when they're getting woke up and you do that to their door. You know what I mean? I try to explain it to even shippers and cosinese. Imagine you're in your house and you're in your bedroom and somebody on the side at 2 in the morning, somebody right next to your window bangs on the window like that, what you're going to think and what your reaction is going to be. And some drivers have done some really crazy stuff. I don't think I have to say it here online, but in a live. But don't be surprised if something not so good happens if you wake up a truck driver. Just don't let them sleep. They've had a hard day.
You guys talking about the anger and the knocking on the door. I'll be honest with you. I was one time in the way in the back of a big parking lot at Dunkin' Donuts, 4 o'clock in the morning, when their employees decided to bang on me. I said, "You bang on this side of this van one more time, and I'm gonna fly out here like the devil."
That's all I'm saying.
I said, "You call the police then. Tell me I can't park here."
I'm not advocating for violence, but yeah.
Yeah, but when you're sleeping, and I'm from the north too, so we're gonna talk loud and crazy. Anyways, that doesn't mean we're mad.
Yeah.
And I'm half Greek, half Thai, so doesn't help. Doesn't mean
Oh,
we're mad
man.
all the time.
That's right.
But don't wake somebody up. It's just like some people you can't wake up, but some people you try to wake them up. And one more final thing, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got cut off before. I didn't know you can't say that word.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sorry about that, man. It's good.
No, sorry, I didn't know. That lady, when she was talking about the happy guy and the sad guy at the baseball game, I had during that time when all that stuff happened, I had a friend, Guatemalan friend, smiled all the time, great family, great everything, perfect. This guy, I never even seen him angry. I never seen him upset about anything. 2 days before, he called me, "Hey, you in town?" I said, "No, I got held up. I'll be in about another day or so." I didn't know. Maybe that was his one time that he was trying to reach out to somebody. But I got home and then I went to call his phone and his wife said he's no longer with us. What are you talking about? He's no longer with us. They have a heart attack or something happened. And she said he just came home, started talking crazy, was sitting on the couch, and she didn't even know. He pulled out the pew and just boom.
That
I don't even think he meant to do it. I think he was so stressed.
that's what I'm saying. Don't wake up a truck driver.
Wow.
Unless you're law enforcement and you have a right to write them a ticket, I would highly advise just leave a truck driver alone. Axel, thanks for coming up, brother. If you want to drop down and come back, you're more than welcome. But we're gonna get some other drivers. All right, brother. Thanks so much. All right, bye bye. Uh, Iceman, welcome in, man. Thank you for your patience. Sorry about the wait. How are you?
What's going on, man?
Same thing, different day, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just taking it easy, man. I'm at home right now, though.
Oh, nice. Rub it in, why don't you? Rub it in.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I'm about to get back out there, though. I won't be too much longer. So I had to come off. I mean, I was out there for quite a while, and you know, I I won't say that I got burnt from the road. It's not the road, man. It's the there's. I mean, I started back at the end of 03, beginning of 04. So it's been about 20 years for me.
Wow.
And
Thank you.
There's a lot of corruption, not in the industry, but in the whole country and all over the world. But in our country, you know, you got there's a lot of us drivers out there that feel that the 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 one little bitty thing that kind of lifts me up is when a soccer mom comes by me and her kid gives me the arm pump.
Sean, yeah. Sean loves that too.
That'll lift your spirits right there, you know.
Yes. It's like there's hope. There's hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for the next generation.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you.
I mean, you know, when I think about what I got at home, you know, I do have I have a small circle of friends, you know, that I can talk to. But you know, even with the drivers with the strongest attitudes or personalities have a hard time out there.
Right.
And, it's hard, man. It really is. A lot of newcomers are coming into this industry, and they think it's a piece of pie in the sky.
Yeah. You just drive though, right? Iceman, you just drive. How hard could it be? Right?
Oh yeah, you just drive. Yes.
It's easy. Sold the steering wheel.
Question for you. Do you notice it's harder when you leave from home when you've been on home time for a while to get that motivation on that first run, and then you finally get that dropped off, and you kind of get away from home, and then it's like, okay, I can run now I'm good to go. I'm away from home. I've kind of let that, you know, I got what I got done before I left as much as I possibly could. You know, you're taking it, and then you finally get that load, and it's like, all right, I don't need to go home for a while. I talked to guys that's been out on the road for, you know, like you were saying, been out there a long time, and then they go home and they're like, dude, it was rough. Those first, you know, couple of days, like I just didn't go. I was just like, I want to turn around and go home, and once I got it off there, then I get that free range of taking it. Do you feel that?
I caught some of that. Yeah, I definitely understand. It's there's man, you know what? All the miles that I've driven and the roads that I've been down and everything that's went through my mind, man, you know, or not just me, but so many of you other drivers, you know, we could be a world hero. I've had a lot of awesome moments out there, but there's been some serious dark moments too, man. I mean,
You mean mentally, or what do you mean? Like accident wise, potential accident, or you mean mentally?
just mentally.
Mentally. Okay. Say if I'm reading between the lines, I know what you're saying, because it's the same with me. We don't want to talk about it, right? We don't want to admit it. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you have dark moments going through your mind, and then you pull up on a truck stop, or every other truck stop you pull into, and you pull into the fuel aisle, you know, you're running in to get something to drink real fast, and when you're walking across that parking lot, you're looking into another driver's eyes, and all you see is fire and hate, man.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and it's terrible. It really is.
And they're ready to crack. They're ready. Any little thing could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Am I right? Anything, any stupid little or any silly little thing. Ah, if you guys can write F1 in the chat, please. I shouldn't have said that. Ugh. I'm still trying to learn how to speak English for TikTok. So,
What would be your three things that to help cope with the mental health? So it was three things that would be mental health leading up to, and then three things how to cope with it. So whether it be like money issues or anything else like that, what would be your three reactions to better that out on the road?
As far as finances, man, that's a hard one. I mean, if you got a home, I mean, everybody's got financial problems.
well, right now they do. They didn't, prior to 7 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, I've never had not big financial problems. Now it's like do I pay the mortgage or the car payment or the truck payment or do I struggle? Do I juggle with the electric bill, the internet bill? It's like it's well, not literally the smaller ones, but you know what I'm saying. It's I've never been in this kind of situation, and my wife and I we budget well. We don't consume. It's been about a year and a half now. We don't even consume anymore. All the stuff on the side end caps, Christmas presents. We don't do big things like we used to because we've grown. We don't want to make other countries strong by buying Chinese crap. You know what I mean? We're looking to spend our money at mom and pop shops. We're looking to not spend our money with companies that are immoral or don't hire American citizens, hire cheap labor. We're really trying to do. We're doing our part. You know.
Absolutely.
Because
I mean, I let my mind go kind of neutral when it comes to financial problems. So and I don't want to bring this up in your life, but
okay.
I'm religious.
That's okay. So, you can bring up your religion. Yeah.
And I let him above worry about that because he does not want his children to worry. That's that's the best. That's about the best I can put that.
Does a bird worry about where it's gonna eat? Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. All right, brother. Well, go ahead, Sean. Oh, you weren't saying anything. All right. Well, Iceman, you can hang out for a minute if you want. I'm gonna get to some other drivers. Do you still have? Okay, I'm gonna get to some other drivers and we'll loop back. All right, brother.
Go ahead.
All right. Just a trucker. Welcome in. I'm gonna give you a follow back. How you doing, brother? Welcome in. Just a trucker. Where you at? Where you at? I wonder if somebody. There we go. Thank you for the follow, lady. I don't think I could say that, but lady, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Just a trucker. What's going on, man? How you doing? Welcome in. I think you hit your mute button a second time. I'll give you a gift here while we're waiting. Let's give you two. There you go. How are you?
Okay, first thing I want to say to you, I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you. You're welcome.
First thing. I appreciate the professionalism, right, that you represent of everything that you do. I appreciate that. That is a great standard with inside the industry, right? Not only against, old school drivers, but it's the standard, right? That I've heard you even say, right? We need to reestablish the standard, right?
Yes.
And focus on certain things that's going on inside, not, maybe, personally, outside of trucking, but when it comes to the trucking aspect side of things, right? This is what we are dedicated to and what we need to focus on the most, right? And I see that in you. And that's the greatest aspect about you. Okay, I'm gonna say that, you know, in the highest, utmost standards for you, that I say you are striving to want to try to change things inside the industry. I appreciate that damn aspect about you. I honestly do. And there's very few people out here that are willing to do that nowadays. Okay. And this is the only reason with inside the industry itself. Okay. I don't care if you've been driving 6 weeks or 5 years, whatever. You are trying to do something different, as I've seen other drivers do things, right? And I appreciate that about you. That's what I want to say about you.
Wow. Well, yeah.
Now,
Thank you. You're welcome.
now let's talk about the mental side. Let's talk about the mental awareness part, right? That some drivers has chimed in on, right?
Mm.
That is a very complex issue, right? Very complex issue. And every driver out here is very complex to them, right? It's very complex. And it's hard to decipher of who's going through what, right? It is. And we all, as drivers, as the community, as anybody that travels on this interstate, even the motoring do not understand some of these challenges sometimes that drivers are going through, and some the other part of it, right? That the motoring public don't understand what drivers are going through, right? This is some things that I feel personally that some drivers may pay a lack of attention to, right? During their daily commute or whatever the hell they're doing, right?
Right. Right.
That they don't understand that everybody else in the same area, that the space that you are occupying, and that any interstate throughout the whole country, right? Everybody's going through this stuff. The only difference is we drive in a bigger vehicle, we hauling a lot more freight, and we're a lot more responsible, right? And in the eyes of the motoring public, they don't see that inside of us sometimes, right?
Bingo.
They don't
Bingo.
see that part.
They never see it.
Okay. And this is the mental awareness side, that maybe that the dividing difference, that they don't see that in us and we don't see that in us and them, right? But that is, and I hate to say this quite blunt, okay? Because I just throw straight out. This is part of the responsibility part, okay? That everybody that holds a CDLs, okay? This is part of our responsibility that we're supposed to see inside the motoring public, that everybody that is around us, no matter where we're out in the country, right? Okay, no matter what road we're on or how much, life has affected us over the road and all this other stuff, right? They don't know about us, but it is our sole responsibility. And I firmly believe this. And if anybody on the panel wants to go look at my dang videos on YouTube or whatever it is, I hold myself up in this mannerism as your professional host. That's Mr. Michael. That's me.
Awesome.
Right? And I believe in the integrity part of it, right? The integrity part, because that's the structure of the imagery, right? Of the industry that we chose to be in. And that's our responsibility. We cannot accept the motoring public to understand what we go through out here. We have to be in the right mindset when we turn that key on every day, right? And be able to be in this professional, mannerism, attitude, or whatever. We have to present ourselves in such a way for the motoring public that we bring some structure back to the industry and the integrity part, right, with that motoring public. right? We have to do that. This is part of the title that we all chose to do. It don't matter what company you're with.
Right.
This
Right.
this is the beginning steps. So when you stepped into a DMV office, right, and it said, I want a commercial's driver's license, right? You're supposed to be able to maintain this and do all this stuff. This is the part of the what the magic word is, the accountability.
You're breaking up a little bit there, brother, just so you know. You're breaking up like 20% of the time.
Right? Nobody can build hold up to the standards. And every driver put themselves in this structure of withstanding the main, the structure of the industry, right? And the standards.
Yeah, just a trucker. We're
Justice.
just a trucker.
Different ways. That's true.
Hey, brother.
But the main thing.
Just the trucker, you got it out real bad. Like, I can't even hear you anymore. It's just like every other word. It's showing you got two bar on your screen. While you're trying to get some service back, but while you're bringing this topic up of, the motor carrier doesn't know, how we are. And right now I'm doing some research and some studies on how did we lose that respect, right? Where did we lose, being the superhero to not being the trash that they call us, right? And some of it I'm seeing, if you remember a few years ago, it's been quite a few years ago, people were parking in Walmart parking lots, right? They were throwing their trash out in the parking lot. Well, Walmart went all crazy everywhere. They're all like, "Gosh, our drivers are garbage. They're throwing their junk out." Now we got this. Now we have this community, or the people looking into that, going, "Oh man, truck drivers are trashy. They're throwing all their stuff away." So we lost a lot of the respect on it. And then if you look at Buc-ee's, for example, right? Buc-ee's just did it a couple years ago, and they're like, "Hey, if you're a truck driver, you're not welcome at our place. We don't want you here." So we as an industry have gotten a bad rep off of big corporations saying that truck drivers are doing it, not holding the person accountable, right?
Bingo. Bingo.
They hold the whole industry accountable, saying they're all trashy. Instead of saying, no, it's just a few people that they're throwing out their garbage out in our parking lot, and we want it to stop. Can I dissect that? Can I dissect that for you, Doug? Let's do it. That's what it's all about. Let's dissect this, imagery part, right? All that occurred, right? We, as drivers, have seen all this, right? Even the motoring public or whoever, right, was in the eyes of the imagery, right? As a whole. Bad truck driver done this, bad truck driver done that, bad truck driver, right? Mm-hmm. We can all relate to this. But actually, it's not this complex. And I can disagree with the best of them, trust me. Okay? And actually, all it boils down to is the imagery of the damn truck driver, okay? And truck drivers, and everybody knows this. Trust me, I've heard a lot of truck drivers over the years, okay? On CBs, social media sites, just name something I ain't seen myself on and I ain't engaged with. I ain't engaged with, but I've been looking. As they call this in 2026, trolling. Okay? Quite honestly. But the imagery itself is only one projection of what people see the industry as, right? The imagery of what a lot of truck drivers have been talking about a long time ago, before I even got on social media sites and started being whatever, right? Even like, talking about the fuel island stuff, right? It's like, hey, driver, will you please move out of my way, right? This has always been a thing inside the imagery, the industry, right?
Yeah, you're talking about like flip-flops, underwear,
No, listen, I don't give a shit what nobody wears, right? I don't give a damn what nobody wears. I'm talking about the imagery as a whole. This has been a projected imagery on the trucking industry as a whole. It don't matter if somebody is comfortable in the truck or if they're naked or riding down the road. I've seen it all, right? The imagery is the imagery, right? But I'm talking outside of this. I'm going straight line to the damn pinpoint. Okay? I know about all the other things in between, but I'm staying focused on this. The imagery, as far as the truck driver, hasn't held up to the standards. Okay? And this is a individual decisions by each and every driver out here. You can blame it on who's qualified, who's not qualified, or this person because of their color, or this immigrant, or who the hell ever you want to, right? But personally, I've seen a little bit of everybody over my 24 years of driving, right? Do the exact same thing that a lot of truck drivers sitting on here bitching about. Okay? And this is where the point to where everything has to change. There was a time and a standard inside the industry when truck drivers could go up to truck drivers, right, and say, hey, that's the wrong thing to do, right? Was there not? Any OGs in here?
That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
not sanitary. It's not this. It's not that.
Right.
Everybody quit calling everybody out for the wrong fucking reasons.
Right.
And they made it normalized exactly what it is. They made it normalized. And this goes across all races, all kind of truck drivers. You know, you could bitch about people driving automatic trucks and just skills and the standards or whatever. It don't matter. A truck driver is going to go get his, and it don't matter what it is, right? The standards should be the standards, no damn matter what, within the industry.
Amen. Well, just a trucker. Just a trucker. We
call their comrades out.
Yeah,
right?
brother, we got to get to some other drivers, okay? We got a lot of people waiting. We usually only go 3 minutes, but if you want, hey, you can come back around if you want. We got to get to some other drivers. We're way over on the time. We love you too, brother. Come back around.
They say,
if we don't get you on here, we're doing some roundtable stuff on Google Meet. You know, it'd be awesome to maybe I'll send you a link to that and get you in there, so that way we can actually have more conversation about this. You know, like the one-on-one meet events is taking 5 to 6 people. We're gonna try to do it a week. Then we can actually have conversations that we can go on for hours. You know.
Yeah. Especially drivers like you with many years under their belt. We want to talk more on a personal level. You know what I mean? Yeah, sure. All right, brother. Thanks for coming up, and come back around in line if you want. All right, brother.
Peace to everybody. Stay safe.
God bless. Bye-bye. All right, you guys, if you're not following Just a Trucker, go give him a follow. We went a little longer for him because that's what we do out of respect for people that are wiser than us and have been in this longer than we have, right? We need to start listening instead of speaking so much. Moonshine, we the truckers themselves.
You ready to listen?
We the truckers are in the house, everybody, live. What's up, brother? How you doing?
You ready to listen to some wisdom there, Vince?
Ah, la, 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 la.
After I get some tea real quick.
Yeah, let me get some coffee. Okay? Let me get some coffee. Yeah, what's up, brother? What you got?
You can do with that tea, Sean.
Hey now. We're on TikTok.
I know where he's at, Vince. So
We're not on X. We're not on X. We are on TikTok. Well, we are on X over here, actually. All right. What's up, brother? How you doing? Rookie control.
I was talking about the image. Okay. Well, image is everything. You know, you walk around the truck stop when it's pouring down raining with your flip-flops on and your white socks, you know, and your pants hanging off your butt and your wife beater t-shirt, tank top on, you know, and that is a shitty image for a truck driver.
Right. So you know what we do? You know what we do? It's just like just a trucker was just saying. We hold them accountable. Fat Dog, did you guys read in the chat? Fat Dog says he still does say something. When you see something, say something. We have to hold each other accountable. So just be like, bro, you look like a bum, man. What are you doing? You know what I mean? If you feel comfortable enough to talk to people, be like, man, like you know, you could try a little harder, make a joke out of it so they get it, but they don't feel offended, right? What do you think, Mike?
Well, it doesn't matter what you say to half of them. They're just going to tell
Ah,
you to fuck off. And I had one day, his butt crack was hanging out. We were on the fuel island getting fuel, and I asked him, I said, hey, man, would you mind pulling your pants up? You know, there's women around here, and we really don't need to be walking around like that in public.
yeah, yeah.
And, you know, and then he started cussing, and I'll do what I want to, motherfucker, this, blah, blah, blah.
See?
Just
So
off the freaking rails.
So the more we make this culture, the more powerful our culture becomes, right? Like the old school culture. The more we do these things and we say these things, it's gonna get so powerful. We're gonna make it uncomfortable for people to say those things and do those things. Now you're always gonna have a knucklehead out there, right? That's never gonna go away. That's human beings here and there. But they need to be the exception to the rule, in my humble opinion. That needs to be the exception to the rule. You see somebody, a truck driver with flip flops on. That needs to be like once a year you see that, right? And you're just like, whoa, bro, what are you doing, man?
You know, if you're
You know?
driving and you're wearing your flip flops, or you're just driving with your socks on or your Crocs, whatever, you know, wearing a pair of baggy ass sweatpants because that's comfortable for you when you're driving, that's fine and dandy. You know what? That's fine. But when you get out of that truck and walk into the truck stop, or walk into that shipper, walk into that receiver, you know, you need to dress professional. And then, you know, drivers don't understand, well, why we get treated like, well, take a look at yourself in the mirror and tell me why you're getting treated like crap.
And
There's a garbage can 2 trucks down, but no, I'm not going to get my fat behind out and walk down there. I'm just going to throw it on the ground.
yeah. Well, that's why we can't park at a lot of these spots, right? That's why, a lot of places I'll go. First thing I do always, if it's somewhere I'm not sure if I should take a 10-hour break there, first thing I do, if the store is open or the manager's there, or the owner's there, I go talk to them. And I say, "Hey, I'm gonna park out here. I'm a truck driver. I'm tired. Can I park here?" If they tell me no, you know what I always say following no, and this works 99% of the time. If they say no, you cannot park there for a 10-hour break, the very first thing I say is, listen, man, I'm really tired. I promise you, I will not litter. I will not throw anything out of my truck. Like if I see a piece of trash, I'll pick it up for you. I will leave your parking lot nicer than how I arrived it here. I promise you. You don't have to worry about me. I'm not going to litter any pallets or tires or piss on the side of my truck. I promise you, you don't have to worry about it. You know what they say 99% of the time with that question? They say, sure, no problem. And then they wake up the next day, they come back to their store, I'm gone. And you know what? One piece of trash was picked up. A urine bottle that was there the day before, now it's picked up. So what does that owner have in his brain now? Yeah, he's come across a lot of bad people, bad truck drivers, but he's also come across one that was decent, that did something for them, right? That didn't litter the place. So now he's going to be more open to allowing you or Sean or any of these other people, Iceman. Now y'all are going to be able to park there. So this is how we get our industry back. This is how we get our country back. Values, morals, integrity, critical thinking. Let's be like our forefathers. Let's do better. That's all we have to do is do better. Right, Mike?
The conversation that we're having, that everybody's having in here right now, needs to be in every orientation class across this nation.
Boom.
The only way we're going to get it back.
Well, I'll tell you another
Boom.
problem too it's not just the reason why some of these truck drivers have some of the issues that they got is these yahoos in these four-wheelers that have no understanding. What happened to driver education before you get your freaking driver's license? That stuff went out the window. And I had a little incident earlier today. I walked back here to check on that woman, and I said, do you realize that your car couldn't fit in that little spot? That woman had the audacity to tell me, now I'm in the left lane, she's in the right lane. She had the audacity to tell me that I'm supposed to slow down to let her over. I'm in the passing lane. A lot of these people in their cars, people that they're entitled, and they can do whatever the hell they want to driving down the road, and and
Mike,
there's no consequences.
Mike,
they get on the highway, they don't know how to yield.
Mike, we're gonna change all that, brother. Driver by driver, broker by broker. Mike, thanks for coming in. We're gonna get to some other drivers, brother. We're way over time. All right, we're way over time. So come back around in line if you want, but we're gonna get to some other folks. All right.
I'm gonna drop off and let another driver come up.
Right on. All right, Iceman. Thank you, brother, and thanks for coming up. All right, you can always come back in line if you wanna speak some more. God bless you. All right. All right.
WeTheTruckers.com, everybody. Check out that website. There's a lot of good information on there. Vince is on there. Sean's on there. A lot of good advocates on there, and a lot of useful information.
Let's go. All right, Mike. That's right.
WeTheTruckers.com. Have a good one, Sean. Vince, everybody out there, y'all be safe.
Later, Mike.
Just take back off what you were trying to say. I still say that teaching this orientation education is a big part of it, right? But these mega carriers, if they were to give shirts and T-shirts out to represent their company to have people wear, they're gonna. That's how you get that closer back, right? I used to work for a guy, and I was like, hey, man, we should have T-shirts like when they're walking into the shipper, they know you are, why not? Your name on it, you know what company you are. So I think you get this education not only just at the driver level, but even at the carrier level. Say, hey, how do you fix it? How do you help us change our culture back by representing your company and making it to where a professional looks back, or it's just a button-up T-shirt or a collar T-shirt. A lot of people wear them if you get
Amen. E92, welcome in. Thank you for your patience, brother. I'm sorry it was so long. How you doing?
How are you doing, sir?
Good, man.
Sean? Long time no see, guys. So when you're talking about the standards of the industry and you're talking about the professionalism, you're talking about all of that, right? Hold on, give me just a second. Let me get my daughter back in the house real quick.
No worries, man. Take your time.
Hey guys, how's everything? Hi Sean, how you doing?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Hey, hang on one sec, MCR. Go ahead,
I
E9.
just had to get my daughter back in my house. I tried to get out. I came outside so they weren't bothering us during the conversation.
Yep,
So
no
when you're
worries.
talking about the standards of the industry and professionalism and everything else, right? We're the only industry that doesn't have like weight standards when it comes to professionalism, right? When you look at it, you look at military personnel. There's weight standards for each individual job.
Right. Right.
Law enforcement, there's weight standards, there's physical agility tests and all that stuff that they got to pass, right?
Correct.
So when you look at the trucking industry, part of the problem is not only are these guys lazy, but they're out of shape. They walk 3 feet from the truck to the trash can at the fuel island and they're out of breath.
Some drivers, yes.
I think that if we went to a weight standard type situation where you have to meet certain physical qualifications, it would weed out a lot of the bad. It really would, right? It would stop people from going and throwing their trash out because they would actually be able to walk to the trash can, walk 3 parking spots over to the trash can, do whatever they need to do, and that way you're not littering in parking lots. You could bend down and pick up a piece of trash that's in a parking lot, like you were saying. right? Because I've done the same thing. I'm like, hey, I know that you don't allow trucks here. There's signs. I'm pretty close to being out of hours. I need somewhere to park. Is it cool if I park here, as long as I don't leave any mess here?
Right.
Maybe pick up a few pieces of trash while I'm here.
That's what I do.
Because
Yes.
you're giving me the opportunity to spend the night here if you do, you know, and I just think that that's a major issue is the fact that there's guys in this industry that are pushing 500 pounds.
I've seen it. Yeah, you see, especially in the summer, you see a few people, you see their calves and how like they're purple from driving so much. Their calves are purple. They're overweight. They can barely walk. They can barely get in and out of a truck. But that also all ties into working 70 hours a week, right? Why on God's green earth is any human being working 70 hours a week, especially driving? Driving is so bad for the human body. Truck drivers' average lifespans are 61 years old in America.
Answer me this though.
It's crazy.
Vince. So yes, we work 70 hours a week, but do you not get a 30-minute lunch break?
You do.
You do.
Yes, you do.
Are you not supposed to walk around and do a pre-trip on your truck?
Yes, but that's only, doctors say 30 minutes of walking a day is what you need. 30 minutes of walking a day.
I'm saying that those are just minor things, right? You can
Right.
be walking for your lunch break. You can get a salad and go, eat.
You know what? Choices, right?
Eat a salad.
You're absolutely right. Choices. The choices we make.
At the end of the day, it's not that you can't do it. It's you're choosing not to do it.
True.
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 I work 5 to 6 days a week. I drive anywhere 700 to 800 miles a day. Right. I'm gone Monday through Friday, but on my days off, I still find time to go to the gym. I still find time to be active with my kids. I still find time to go do things. Right. It drives my fiance nuts because I mean I can function off of 4 or 5 hours of sleep on my days off, and I'm ready to go do shit with the kids. I'm ready to get out of the house. I'm ready to go be active. Why?
Right.
Because I keep that mentality while I'm on the road.
If you don't mind me asking,
Not be able to do the same thing is because they're too lazy.
yeah.
So let's look at this way. So what if look at the guy that's at a shipper, he's sitting for 5 to 6 hours waiting on his load, and he's sitting in max. Most of the shippers don't want you walking around because they have forklifts running around and you got the whole 9 yards. You think if a shipper was mandatory to have a driver's lounge and a bathroom, a place for truck drivers to actually get out and go to do that, do you think that would actually help some of the?
I'm a shipper.
There we go.
From a shipper perspective.
Perfect.
From a shipper's
Hit it.
perspective, right?
Hit it.
I run the logistics coordination at my warehouse, right? And I love this industry. Sean, you guys know how much I love this industry.
Yeah,
right?
we know you, brother.
Personally canceled truck drivers using our bathrooms. I have personally canceled truck drivers sleeping overnight, right? Because it is a personal thing, like the gentleman was saying, right? It is a personal thing. Some truck drivers are they're just unteachable. They're just untalkable. You cannot talk to them. You could ask them nicely, hey guys, go use the bathroom. Go ahead. You have to brush your teeth. Go brush your teeth. They would just take advantage of it. They leave the bathroom a mess. They urinate all over the toilet. They do feces all over the toilet. They curse when they come in the office. Women in the office, they have their pants down. It's all about self-care. Just because one does it, right, doesn't mean another person does it, right?
Right.
I have guys drivers walking into the warehouse. It is clean. I mean, to head to toe, their trucks clean. I have drivers that our secretaries go to their trucks and they open the door butt naked. What is wrong with these guys?
Dude.
Right? Well,
Dude.
So it is not a standard industry. You could put a bunch of standards industry. It comes out to the individual, right? Nobody told you to eat 7 cheeseburgers, right? Nobody tells you not to go to the gym.
So I think the question is, how do we motivate people then? Because we can't force anybody to do anything, right? How do we motivate people, guys and gals, if you're in the chat? How do we motivate drivers to do better? Because if you can encourage 90% of people to change that are doing these bad things, and that goes for brokers and shippers too, right? MCR, you're a great shipper. There's terrible shippers out there. There's terrible drivers, good drivers. So how do we weed out? That's the ultimate question. How do we either weed out the bad, or how do we motivate them in a positive way, a happy way to do better for their life? Maybe can we cut down on the 70 hours a week? Then maybe they'll have a little more time for this. Put a treadmill at all shippers areas so they can do walking there. If you guys don't want them around forklifts, all right, let's get a tread. There's always an answer to a question, right? Like for what Sean's saying, forklifts. Yeah.
MCR, are these now when you're talking? Are these owner operators that you're seeing? Owner operators, these are owners. No, everything. Owner operators, big corporation drivers, everything, right? But you cannot help somebody that doesn't want to be helped, right? You cannot. As a shipper, I shouldn't be reliable to help you to be who you want to be, right? It's called self care.
MCR.
Self love.
MCR, I respectfully disagree with just that statement. I think people are teachable. I think people, if you can somehow, like, it might not be me or you that can talk to that driver, but maybe Sean can break through to that particular type of driver. Like, I know the type of person you're talking about, and yes, they exist, right? But I think out of 10 of the people you're talking about that are unteachable, I think 9 out of 10 of them are teachable. I think it's a heart issue. It's a heart issue.
Mental health. It goes back to mental health to this. I mean, it all boils down back to the line. If somebody's in their truck butt naked, and knowing darn well somebody's going to come up and knock on that door and open it like that, that's mental health, right? I mean, just the way you look at it, that is a problem, and somebody's having a mental breakdown and they're showing their outrage. Like they don't care anymore.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
hoping that you're going to call the cops on them and they're going to be arrested because they can't handle it anymore. And that, my friend, is something that we have to hold ourselves accountable. If I seen something like that, I would be like, hey, brother, you need to get your act together. Here's this hotline. Call somebody and talk to them. That's the only thing you can do. You see a big guy that's, out there, I would help him. I would say, hey, man, you want to walk around the parking lot with me? Hey, there's a gym right over here. You know what I mean?
So, like Vince was saying, right? So, I mean, a treadmill at these shippers and receivers would be a great idea. But here's the thing. So, say you get on a treadmill. Say you're there at the receiver, shipper, or whatever, and load time is approximately an hour, right? I mean, let's just use averages: hour, 2 hours, whatever.
2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours.
So
Average.
say it's an hour, right? Just you go to this place, you know this place, whatever. You've been there before. It takes about an hour. They start putting treadmills up. If you say they put a treadmill up, and they say, okay, well, if you can walk a mile or 2 miles or even a half mile in the time that it takes us to get you loaded, we'll give you a t-shirt and a hat.
I was just going to bring that up. Go ahead.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll give you something. We will incentivize you to utilize our equipment while we are loading you or while we are unloading you.
There's some law enforcement agencies, there's a few departments that actually have full-on gyms at their station, and you are required every other day for a half hour to lift weights, to exercise, and you're getting paid for it. So why not? Dude, if you're getting paid for it, that's a great idea. And that's all I'm saying is my belief system is 9 out of 10 people, if given the chance, will take it. I believe that 9 out of 10 times, if educated, they will change, because I'm proof of it. I'm a completely different person than I was 10 years ago.
Here's another thing,
growing.
Right? So, I mean, most drivers usually have a 5-gallon bucket in their truck. I mean, let's just be real, right? Because emergencies happen, you have a 5-gallon bucket. Why can't you just set your 5-gallon bucket up by your steps and do dips for 10 minutes?
You can. Yeah.
Right?
You can.
You could use the steps on your truck for high steps. You know, you don't have to leave the area. You can do it right there at your truck.
Absolutely.
All you have to do is you have to have the self-motivation. And like I said, with some of these shippers and receivers, you can put a treadmill in there and be like, hey, if you can do a half mile, a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, whatever,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this amount of time,
Right.
we will incentivize you with these things, right?
Yeah.
We'll start off like you go in there and if you do a mile, every time you do a mile, we'll give you a shirt. If it's somebody that's in shape and fit, okay, then we'll give you something else. Like, you know, we'll give you a cooler, we'll give you whatever. You know what I mean?
Stars towards something bigger, a coffee cup, whatever. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, so a lot of people don't know this, but walking 30 minutes a day at a fast pace where your heart's actually beating, you know, nonstop, 30 minutes a day cuts down on, get this, 90% of health problems. Did you know that? 90%. So if you want a 90% chance of not getting the C word, 90% chance of no diabetes, like 90% of not losing muscle mass as you get older year by year, all you have to do is literally walk at a decently fast pace for 30 minutes a day. Now,
and here's the thing, right? So you have two things here. So if you do the half hour walk and or even 20 minutes, whatever, right? You're lowering the possibility of a heart attack,
yes.
right? You brush your teeth, you're also lowering the risk for heart disease and heart attack.
Right.
You guys just motivated me, right? From a shipper's perspective, I'm gonna go. Monday. I'm gonna go Monday, right? And I'm gonna implement a program to these drivers, right? Besides, because I give them food, I give them water, I give them everything. I don't let them sleep over, and I don't let them use the bathroom. I don't do that, right? I'm not saying I'm gonna open that door, but I'm gonna implement it, right? Because I'm a pretty fit guy. I wake up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I run, I do my jog, I do my prayers, I do everything.
Right.
Every driver who walks around, right, who walks around the warehouse with me, and I'll do it myself with them, right? I'll get them a gift card of $5. A gift card of $5. I'll take it out of my own pocket for them to get something to eat.
And one last thing before I jump out, Vince. So I know it's like, I mean, mental health is a big thing, right?
Big thing. Yeah.
You also have to remember 20 to 30 minutes of exercise a day helps with mental health.
Yes, it does.
The mental strength and the mental health.
Exercise creates dopamine and serotonin, and it gets the blood moving, which helps with depression. So many good things happen when you exercise. You know, sometimes if I'm really stressed or have anxiety or like I'm upset or something like that, I'll go on a half-hour walk and I feel great. I feel joyful again. I feel happy. I don't feel bitter. It doesn't always work, but most of the time it works. Literally, if I'm pissed off.
Here's the thing. So you were also talking about speaking up with other drivers. Well, so if say you go to a shipper receiver that does have a treadmill, and you see the driver next to you, and he's really, I mean, mentally he's beat, right? He's defeated. Why don't you instead of just speaking up about the negative, why don't you be like, hey, do you want to go inside and join me on the treadmill for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour?
Right. Right. You don't say, bro, you're overweight. You need help. Get in there and exercise. You spoon feed and you leave breadcrumbs, right? Hey man, you want to go with me and just talk and go on the treadmill, man? Like, come on, let's go. Motivate people. Yes. This is, brother, we're always.
And it's simple because you can be like, look, hey, you know, I'm getting ready to go hit the treadmill inside the shipper receiver, whatever. And, you know, I really don't want to do it alone. You know, I'm going through some shit. Whatever. I mean, just come up with an excuse to get them to go in there with you.
Right.
Absolutely, man. I have had some of the greatest conversations with truck drivers, man, at my office. I mean, you're just having a conversation with somebody. Hey, where you coming from? Hey, where you are? How's your wife? What are your beliefs? You know, about this country? What do you believe about the industry? Hey, can you want some water? Hey, you want some coffee? Hey, you want this? What do you think about just a general man-to-man conversation?
MCR, that's one conversation that I wouldn't bring up is how do you feel about where the country's at or where it's going? Because
Or religion, most of the time. Or religion.
Because politics and religion will get you into a fight.
But no,
Yeah.
believe it or not, right? Believe it or not, those conversations are really beautiful to have with the old school drivers. I haven't had one, right, that has gone the wrong way. All of those guys have been amazing conversations, to be quite honest with you.
Can I say something though? You know, we're talking about accountability, right? So I'll be vulnerable. I'll talk about myself. I won't talk about anybody else. It's only been about, if I'm being honest, it's only been about a year since I completely do my best. I do really well at not judging people. What do I mean by that? So we say don't bring up politics and religion, and normally you are correct on that. But I have realized for myself, when I bring up those subjects, if I just simply respect what their ideology is, even if it goes even if it goes against my ideology 1000%, I've learned that we can have a great discussion. I can have a great discussion. I'm Christian. I can sit here and talk to a Muslim all day long as I don't try to force a Muslim to be a Christian, right? I can talk to a gay person as long as I don't force them to be straight. Like if I just let them be a person, a free thinker, a critical thinker, and let them live their life, and I'm just enjoying life with them instead of trying to persuade their way of life, I get along with everybody. Most people. Most people.
I
Most
understand
people.
exactly what you're saying. I'm just saying that those can be definitely
Oh, you're
like touchy subjects, right? So
yeah.
like actually, I would not.
100%.
That's true.
If they bring it up, like I mean, I've had conversations with people that I don't agree with their political or religious beliefs, but at the same time, I'm not the one bringing it up.
And
Right?
you can debate with them, right? You can respectfully disagree, if anything, right? We don't have to.
To be honest with you, when they bring up religion or politics, if it's something that goes against my beliefs, I don't even debate it. Right? I let them vent. I let them get it off their chest because
Nice.
obviously that's something that's bothering them.
That's
Because
awesome.
if I voice my opinion and they're not in the right mind state, then it can turn into a fight that way also.
Right.
So
Right.
so you have to be real careful with religion and politics when it comes to that.
You do it. Not you can't talk to just anybody. We might not be judgmental, but they might be super judgmental, and they have to change your ways, right? So it's
conversation
you.
that I find a lot of thing when I start talking to them about anonymous trucks, right? they hate that shit. They hate it. I mean, today I came out of work, an old school trucker, old school chubby guy. I was like, Thomas trucks are gonna take your job. It was like, shut the hell up.
Ooh, sour, sensitive subject.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Ah,
I love it.
you're an instigator.
Like I said, Vince, like
That's one of my things.
I said, I appreciate
Don't
you
be
guys
the
having
reason for autonomous. No, for autonomous, I always tell people when they're doing something crazy, I'm like, hey man, don't be the reason for autonomous to take our jobs. So and you're right. When you're talking about debates and stuff, I love debating on people when it comes to like religion and politics because I listen, right? If I'm gonna give you, and I always tell people, I say, hey, you know what, you talk. I give them, the floor. They first get to open up to say what they're gonna say, and then I'm like, okay, now my turn. Now you listen to me because as the time that you're doing it, you're educating each other, right? I want to know about, what beliefs you have or what politicians, how they're affecting you and how I can actually get you to get out there and vote, right? So when somebody's talking about politicians, to me, it's like, well, did you do your part? And most of them, they say, well, I didn't vote in that part of it. Our elections mainly are in your state. That is the most powerful one, like your county commissioner, your governor, your legislators. Those are your powerful, not President,
Congress and
is
Senate.
probably one of the, like everybody votes for, but he doesn't have the power like your state has the power. So
Congress and Senate.
the people are actually voting for president. So when we get into politics, oh man, I open up that door. I'm like, well, so you voted for president. That's great. Well, who'd you vote for county commissioner? Well, what do you mean? I'm like, did you vote for county commissioner? Well, no, I did. So it's like, but in your area, county commissioner is the most importance to you and your around your house. That they control your property tax. They control how much school money is getting taxed. So yeah, when you're debating, the best thing to do is just like let them have it, and then and that's when you bring them into saying, man, I guess I never looked at it that way. So I think debating on politics and religion, it's just how you hold yourself up and
Yeah.
how you let them, how you interact,
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, yes, it's doable. I'm just saying that it's not always easy, right? And those kind of conversations can definitely turn into a fight. That's why you have to be real careful about it, because they are sensitive subjects.
E92, we need more people like you.
Yeah.
We need more men like you, more drivers like you.
Like I said, guys, Vince, I appreciate you letting me back up, sir. Trucker a while ago, to be honest with you, he sounded like Mad Max. It's kind of interesting. Or not, I don't know if it was Trucker or the other guy, but he sounded like Mad Max. It's kind of interesting. And Sean, definitely nice to see you again.
And, if I send you a message, would you be willing to go on our Google Meets and talk about some other stuff? So we actually found there's about $61 billion in grants that we're trying to tap into. And by the end of the year, I want to see it drained. It's been just goes in there and gets collected.
For all of us.
It's about mental health, it's safety, it's training, and all this stuff that we can actually use to better our industry. And we need people, like that, with that mindset of how do we fix mental health? How do we get, because to me, like you said, oversized weight, that's a part of mental health. And, all this stuff kind of all boils down. So if we can actually utilize that money to actually do something with it, most of the people that dip into, we were looking at it last night. We were talking to a feller, and it's actually the last time it was dipped in was, like you said, 7 years ago. Somebody took like $2 million out of it, and the rest of it's just been flipping over. So now it's built up to 61 billion. And I think we should this year empty that bad boy, put that money to use, and help fix our industry.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, and here's another thing too, right? Like incentives, like we were talking about incentives. Gloves, right? Something as simple as gloves. Something as simple as high vis hoodies or jackets or vests. With those company logos or whatever on it, just to let people know that you went there, like they treated you decent. You're showing that that's a good receiver, a good shipper.
E92, on that note, Sean and I, we were in a private meeting the other day, a roundtable meeting with a lot of great people, and they were talking about how some middle-sized carriers literally have a fund just for like small scrapes, like destroying fairings and bumpers. They have to put like 30 grand in their account every year because their driver retention is so bad. And my first thought to that was, why wouldn't they just give that 30 grand? Why not invest that into drivers that are true professionals, that don't get close to poles, that don't get close to slam on the docks hard, that don't jump curbs, unless absolutely necessary to get on a dock, stuff like that, right? So they just, it's always screw the driver versus invest into the driver. So yes, let's see. Just a Trucker just said this is a little bit ago. He said this is an industry. Can it be utilized? Yes, but you're going to push out a lot of drivers. You know what, Just a Trucker? We're okay with that. Let's push the truckers out that are complete unprofessionals that will not grow. They won't grow. They won't learn. They're disrespectful. They spit on the industry and they make us all look bad. Let's do the same for brokers. Let's do the same for mechanics. All of them.
Here's the thing. So, yes, I brag about my company. I don't tell them what company it is, right?
That's good. Yeah.
My company treats me really, really well. Pay wise, benefits, everything.
Okay.
But here's the thing. So they give us incentives for driver performance on how many miles you run a year. They give you incentives for accident free miles. They give you incentives for just different things, right? And then you go to the company meeting, the safety meeting twice a year, and you put in for raffles for the bigger objects just by putting your name down on a raffle ticket. But then they do other drawings, they do other things like this. Like this last year, I think I got like 4 shirts. Which ain't much, you know what I mean? But then they also gave me like an air hose. They gave me a bunch of different tools that I could use on the truck, like tire gauges and
wow, see,
and all kinds of shit,
stuff you need. Yeah,
full of just like random tools that you can use on the road, because they
love
want
it.
the driver retention for one. For two, they want to make sure that we're taking care of their equipment by them taking care of us.
Right. Right.
You know, so if these shippers and receivers are willing to do the same thing, then they wouldn't have the issues on their properties.
Right.
And you tackle into, you know, owner operators, you tackle into everything, you know, you're just not a company driver. You kind of get that whole industry coming in, you know, because, you know, like when you were guys talking about like flip flops and the, that part of it, you know, I have like 3 pairs of different kind of shoes. I have steel toe boots that I get into my flatbed. I have tennis shoes when I'm going to go get fuel and walk inside. And then I have my, you know, my jumper shoes that I wear inside the truck because I don't want to get, you know, all the debris from my steel toes out there tarping the load down, you know. So, but a lot of people don't really have that training and have that knowledge of, man, you know what? That's a smart way. I don't have to keep sweeping my floor every hour on the hour, you know. But it all boils down to, you know, getting that education. In this meeting yesterday that we were talking about, they said, well, how do you fix it? And I said, well, first things first, it starts with education. It starts with orientations. It starts at the bottom.
Yes. The beginning.
We changed from, you know, a driver being the ultimate piece of the puzzle to spreadsheets, right? And calling drivers' numbers. And we lost that along the way because they're like, hey, how do we fix this? And I told them, I said, I guarantee it, if I was to take a driver from the beginning, you can put whatever you want on a spreadsheet and I'll have that driver outperforming that spreadsheet, and it'll be way beyond, because if they know how to listen to their motor, if they know how to, you know, take care of themselves, because mental health is one of the big things of fuel consumption, right? If I'm mad at the world, you think I'm going to sit there and pedal that pedal? Heck no, I'm going to hold it to the floor and hold on to that steering wheel and be screaming and yelling. So, I mean, I think as an industry as a whole, can we fix mental health in it? I think we can. I think there was a lot of good conversations tonight, bringing up, you know, what are those key points of what triggers mental health, you know, or what's the definition, you know, kind of like a defining it of, you know, people are coming in and saying, hey, finance is one of the biggest ones. Weight, you know, eating, the structure of it, the dieting, you know, these are all mental health stuff that definitely 100% that I think with a team of really good experts, as I would call it, as ourselves, you know, in these panels that we're going to bring into these Google Meets, we'll definitely be able to solve it for sure.
And the encouragement of other drivers also, right? If they get into a tight spot, be like, damn, dude, you did pretty good. Like, I don't think I could have done that, even though you probably could have, and you probably could have done it a little easier.
Right.
You know, just give them a little bit of an encouragement. And that, I mean, that would go miles, right?
I always say you get more reaction out of a positive than you do a negative, right? So if you tell somebody a positive thing versus calling them a downgrade name, you're going to get that positive power back, right? That person's going to be like, hey, man, you're right. You know, I'm on my game today.
Yeah, if you guys notice, whenever somebody comments on any of our videos, Sean, or any other videos that I watch, if they comment negatively or they insult us, right? The first thing I'll say is like, did that make you feel good to insult me? I hope it did. God bless you, right? I don't take anything personal anymore. It's okay. You want to
I think that's how we met, was a couple of the lives and stuff where drivers are talking shit to other drivers. And I mean, some friendly banter here and there is okay.
We got to give each other crap here and there, you know.
But
Give each other a hard time.
at the end of the day, if you see somebody that's struggling getting into a spot, help them out, and then congratulate them.
Bingo.
Bingo. It goes a long way. I mean, that's part of that culture that we got to bring back into this industry that we've been lacking for a long time, and it just slowly disappears. And as I'm doing this research of going, how did we mess up on this? You know what I mean? Like, how did we get where we are today? You know, it's crazy to actually look back and see it. It's just like, man, how did we not see this? And I know how we didn't see it. You know, when stuff gets tight for money wise, and you're more focusing on how do I pay my next bill. You know, when money was actually great about 4 years ago to about that 5-year mark, you didn't really see as much of this. But now that the rates are so low and the pay is there, people are going out of business, you know, closing up doors and having to go back to being a company driver. You see it. It's like it's really hitting hard now. You know, so
yeah, it's Carol Fuller.
Cool. I think it's just understanding where we are and how we are now, and how do we reverse it. you know, how do we get that positive power back of, you know, drivers fist bumping, man. I was like, dude, I'm bringing a fist pump back every day. You know, I see somebody at the fuel island and they're getting fuel. I'm like, hey man, what's up, brother? They staying safe out here?
Yep.
You know, and then you know, I stop and help people. You know, if I get on that radio and I see them on their four ways on there, and hey driver, you all right? But my biggest thing is calling a driver. You know, that's like a respectful thing because you don't know their name.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, and the one thing, Sean, that I've caught myself doing more lately is like walking into the truck stops, right? And I'll be behind somebody, and I realize that I'm walking maybe a little bit faster than them, or I'm catching up to them, or whatever. I'll speed up a little bit more, get in front of them, and hold the door open for them.
There we go. I do the same. Yep. People look at me like I'm weird or something. Like, you know, someone will be like 15 feet away and I'll be exiting the door and I'll just hold the door open with my foot or my arm or something. And they look at me strangely like, you're waiting 3 seconds for me to come up and just walk in? Like, what do you want? They do. Nobody's used to kindness anymore.
But as they get within 1 or 2 steps of you, they smile.
They do.
Every time.
Bingo. Yes.
100%. I love that.
And you know what?
Smile.
You know what? They might have been planning to go inside and then come back outside and unalive themselves. You don't know. Seriously. That one little smile might have gave them enough hope to say, you know, I've talked to a lot of men and women, not a lot. I've talked to 3 or 4 people that have said they were going to unalive themselves and they got a phone call or someone was nice to them or they had enough hope in humanity that like, wow, okay, maybe this is worth sticking around. You know what I mean? And that shit is real, man. That's no fake or be popular. Like that's real shit that is worth fighting for. You know what I mean? People's lives. Especially when it's most of the time the San Francisco Bridge, you guys, or what's it called? The Golden Gate Bridge, right in San Francisco. You guys have heard how I think it's like 300 people a year. It's something like that unalive themselves off that bridge. Okay, there's maybe 1% of them that survive. And so over the last 50 years, they have done research and they've studied people that are jumping off. And guess what? Every single one of the survivors, which isn't many, right when they jumped, they all had the exact same thought. What am I doing? I don't want to die. This was a mistake. I'm not just kidding. Just kidding. No. God, like don't let me die. So think about that. So the other 299 that did successfully unalive themselves, they also had the exact same thought. Am I wrong on that? They had to have. Like shit, I screwed up here, right? Uh-oh.
I mean, out of that, there was probably a half of a percentage that actually wanted to go through with it. They didn't care.
Yeah.
That's still a very low number compared to the amount that regretted it, right? So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's these little things and these types of conversations, especially the ones on mental health, are really hard, right?
Yeah.
But they need to be had, and it takes people like you, Vince, and people like you, Sean, that actually are willing to do that.
Yeah. And you know, it's sad. They just restricted the live because I don't know if I said the you know what word too many times. I even say it in their little Karen restrictive way, control freak way, and they still restrict the live. Maybe I said it too many times in a certain amount of seconds. I don't know. But what did I say that was so bad just now? If anything, it was to prevent it. Huh?
It might have been me.
I don't think so.
It might have been the self-deletion conversation too about the Golden Gate Bridge.
Crazy world. All right. Well, we're gonna. Yeah.
I mean, we've always had every time I've had a conversation with you, Sean and Vince, we've always had tough conversations that people don't want to have, right? So I appreciate you guys, you know, for what you guys do, and obviously that's why I've been following you. And by the way, I tried to make it to MATTS for the truck show.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
My company didn't want to send me out that way.
Oh.
The very next week, I got sent out that way. So
damn.
It happens. You know, it happens.
It's worth it, bro. You'll enjoy it.
I told my buddy what you said about C.H. Robinson about cheap and heavy, and he was cracking up because he's like that can't be more real.
I was threatened to get sued for that comment. I was threatened to get sued, and I love it because what are you going to do? I'm slowly losing everything anyway. What are you going to take from me? You know, what are you going to do? You know, freedom. Some things are more important than money or the things that you've earned. Even I'm willing to lose everything to have a better tomorrow for my children, my grandchildren, and for myself, and for you, all of you. And if we all think that way collectively, it's going to go back to the 50s where things actually run for 50 years. They don't, planned obsolescence or whatever it's called. You know, my grandparents have a refrigerator that they bought in the 50s. It is still running right now. I shit you not. I kid you not. It's still running.
My kids are yelling at me. It's dinner time, so
All right,
I
brother.
appreciate you guys and thanks for talking on the phone, gentlemen.
And I want to invite you to that Google Meet thing, and I just want to say welcome home. We need guys like you on our team to help appreciate this industry. So welcome.
Yes, sir. I did send you a follow, Sean, so you can message me and reach out.
I wrote him down, Sean. Don't worry. I got him down. Already got him down. All right, let's see. We're gonna end the live soon. I got 3 people that want to come up. Let's make it quick though, fellas, if we can. It looks like all men here. We're gonna just make it quick because we are shutting down the live. What's up, brother? How you doing, my truck spaces? What's going on? I couldn't leave you hanging. I was gonna shut down the live, and then I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I can't do that to him. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Hey, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to everyone that's on here. Really wonderful conversations. And the corruption in the industry is just mind blowing. But like I said to you in a couple of my short conversations, because we're limited to what we can put in there. And I need everybody that's listening to share mytruckspaces.com. Now, granted, we have some competitors out there that charge 30%. We only charge 10% for the owner. And here's what I'm going to do with some of this money. I'm going to build a search engine. And if you guys test this for yourself, if you go to Google and you don't even type nothing in, and it comes up that like the 10 most talked about things, for that day. What I'm going to do is I want to take like We the Truckers, that has a lot of great followers on there.
Uh-huh.
And I want to do it, and if you can give us some ideas, that'd be great. But I'm creating a search engine for the small companies to grow. And anytime somebody types anything in, there's going to be the top 10 stories, and our story about the trucking industry of what's really going on with the autonomous trucks and the corruption will come up first. And Google, Google monopolizes a lot of big companies. Who's got the most money?
Yep. It's always about the money. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
So that's kind of briefly. I'm not going to give you the full details on it, but it's gonna help the small companies grow again, and it's gonna help the trucking industry because anytime somebody, if you, like I said, you test it for yourself, you go to Google and you try to type in corruption in the trucking, or don't even type anything in. The top 10 stories will come up. We're going to build this search engine to where We the Truckers would come up, you would come up first. So we can get the public.
Actually, what that's going to take? You know what that's actually going to take? You know what that's actually going to take?
Yes. Go ahead. Do I know what it's going to take?
You're talking, right? Search engines, right, on Google. You know what that's going to take?
Yes, sir.
To be pushed out like in such algorithms of the Google and everything. Can I just be truthful and honest with everybody?
Of course, that's what we want. Honest debate.
Discrediting the cause or anything, right? That's going to take about $500,000.
Well, let's bring pastime up because I'm
Now,
pretty.
listen,
Let's
look,
see.
the
His does
industry.
this.
No,
I think.
listen. The money involved inside of Google. You can go out there and throw $2,000 or $3,000 a month out and something you want to, right?
In order to get it well,
You are correct. Listen, I know I am correct, but if the supposedly right, oh, I'm not discrediting the what you're wanting to do. I'm not doing that. I'm about that. But in reality, okay, and I'm not trying to hurt no feelings or save no feelings. It just a major 1% of Google searches, you're gonna have to throw at least $500,000 or $1 million out there to only see probably about less than 1%, 3/16 of searches out there. That's what Google does. They are in the industry of making money, right? Of the most important topics. And the most important topics actually is not fucking trucking.
Well, it is the most important industry. It's just gate kept very well.
And everybody knows this.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm not discrediting nobody's experience. I'm not discrediting nobody's experience. But the data shows, go research it.
All right.
Those top influencers on Google, on anything that you put an algorithm in, okay, on your search bar or whatever it may be, if it's trucking or automobiles or whatever it is, you're gonna, if you want to get to the motoring public or and all this other shit, it's damn $1 million in the.
So both you guys, both you two, you guys are breaking up really bad. Hang on, guys. We can't hear either one of you. Both you two guys at the top, you guys are breaking up so bad. We can only understand like 50%, 40% of what you're saying. So maybe let's drop out and write it in the chat if you can. It's both your guys' connection is bad. So Jane, go ahead real quick. I'm just gonna drop you guys. You can. Well, I don't know. We're ending the live, so sorry about that, guys. But go ahead, my truck spaces. Go ahead and finish up, and they can type in the chat if they want. Is it just me, or we couldn't hear them? Right? Neither one was clear.
The one on the top, and he didn't load in for me.
Same with me. So go ahead, my truck spaces. Go ahead and finish.
He is correct. For a Google search engine, well, it's millions and millions of dollars. But I'm talking about starting out a small search engine, and we share it on the platform. And anytime somebody types something in, okay, just like it'll be a different structure. I can't get into details about the algorithm because then somebody else is going to copy my idea, whoever's listening. But before somebody types anything in, it always algorithm, because I a lot of research on Google, it'll show the top 10 stories for that particular date. Well, we just put something with it at the top that really grabs the public's attention. And before they even start typing, they see this little capturing uh, keywords, and they want to click on the story and see what it's about. So That's what I'm talking about.
Well, dude, yeah.
And
I think it's a great idea. And you know how we are here, man. If you need support or we can help you get that up and running, however which way we can, any kind of help to the trucking industry or ideas are great. So I encourage it.
Hit on that. It's absolutely. Every day I use mine. Freightways pops on mine every day when I use my Google search. It's some kind of story that Freightways putting out there. So I mean, is it possible? I guarantee you, Freightway ain't throwing millions at them. It's just the algorithm that I look at trucking studies, and I look at how the trucking's going. It throws me that algorithm that Freightway they post every single day. So could it be done? I think it could be 100%.
Yeah. I think you're onto something. Okay. And I'll tell you this.
right, and for me to get there, like I said, because I know a lot of people don't agree with truck parking, paid truck parking. Like I said, our competition charges 30. We only charge $10 and a 10% to the property owner, and that's what I'm going to use some of that
Wow.
money for to help us in the industry and to build that search. Like I said, I don't want to get into details. I mean, because Google's algorithm, the big players, whoever has the most money wins on the first page. That's all I got to say about that. If you can read between the lines.
Right, right. No. Well, we encourage you keep moving forward, and if you hit a brick wall, figure out how to go over it or under it or around it. So, all right, brother. Well,
Right, absolutely.
yeah. We could talk it
I'll
more.
be on Google. I'll be on Google Play Store with. I have 3 sites out there, and 2 of them are for trucking. Trucker's Word, My Truck Space. I also own Dream by Rent.
Nice. All right. All right, so everyone listening, go follow my truck spot, or sorry, my truck spaces. And thanks for coming up, brother. Have a great day.
I'm actually going to hit on my truck space. It's not that I entirely hate the paid parking. It's the fact that the truck stops want to charge $20, $30, $40 just for one night.
Yeah.
$10? Okay. Simple. $1 each hour.
Well, my whole opinion on that is personally, I am sick and tired of every year is one extra thing that I never had to pay for that is now being taken off my paycheck. It's just every year. Like I hear what you're saying, but it's just like the spot market, right? I'll talk to brokers and they'll say, "Oh, this is a great load. It's 50 cents above spot market." I don't care what spot market is. My truck maintenance doesn't know what my operating costs, my CPM doesn't care about spot market. Freightliner doesn't care about spot market. The federal government doesn't care what spot market is. And my kids don't know the difference between spot market when they need to eat, right? So it's like everybody year for year, because trucking is the number one industry, trillions of dollar a year industry, right? So everybody and their brother is trying to figure out how to get in a truck driver's pocket. And it's like, I don't know. I've been doing it 12 years. I've never had to pay for parking. I still to this day have never paid for parking. And I hope that I can successfully the rest of my career say I've never paid for parking because I've never done it before. Why do I all of a sudden have to do it now and take even more money out of our paycheck? So, but I hear what you're saying. Like $30, $40 is ridiculous. It is, you know?
Not even $24 for a shower. And you're
Oh,
talking about
dude.
spot market. They used to say, "Oh, I got you a backhaul, man. I got you a backhaul." Now they're like, "Well, that's not working anymore because people ain't falling." Now they're using this new term, spot market. It's 50% above it. So it's just how they're trying to manipulate the situation and say, "Hey, this is the way we're getting more people to." Oh yeah, I'm gonna take that load now. It's above this magical number of a spot market, and all they're doing is, just taking advantage of the drivers. So yeah, it's insane how we've led them to what they're
True.
When we unite and people start getting educated, I think a lot of changes will come down pretty quick and fast. I mean,
Agreed.
it has to happen.
I will say this though, mytruckspaces.com, he is trying to make it to where, okay, if this is going to happen, I'm going to try to be the first. I'm going to try to get in there to help truck drivers so that they don't get raked over the coals with a heavy rake. I'm going to have a leaf rake instead of a heavy rake, right? So that we don't get raked over the coals. So, brother, I respect what you're doing. That's just my personal opinion, which really doesn't matter because there's 2 million of us strong. So I'm just a small link of the chain in it all. User 53, thanks for coming up, brother. We appreciate everything you said and have a great night. All right.
Say one more thing.
Sure.
I like how they're putting all the safety features on the trucks, but yet they don't want to build more parking. So at most nights, you see truckers just park on off ramps and
Double park. Mm-hmm.
That's more unsafe than, and these safety features are even more unsafe.
Right.
They will detect the shadow and automatically brake.
Right. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
I'd
All right.
rather have a 1996 Peterbilt or a 1996 Freightliner than one of these newer trucks.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, right? So in our meeting that we were having yesterday, this got brought up, right? You know, they're all about, oh, let's see what the tire pressure is while you're going down the road. Let's see how much, antifreeze you're using while you're going down the road. Let's see how much oil is. Instead of saying, hey, you know what? Let's put a microwave in there for the driver. Let's put entities in there that they can, stretch out further. I mean, look at RVs now, right? They got bunks that actually stretch out. When you're parked, why don't we make a parking spots big enough to be able to make it more of like a home base instead of a truck? And when we look at over other countries like in Europe and all these others, they offer all this stuff in a truck. A $200,000 spec truck comes with everything except for a gold sink in it. It's got a bathroom, it's got a sink, it's got a shower. Everything a driver needs. Why aren't we doing that here? And why are we only doing it for just the so-called safety thing? Using sensors to check and tell everything about it. They were talking about guys don't even get up and do great trips anymore. And I'm like, but really, honestly, the micromanaging of the industry now, they almost don't have to, right? They have sensors that says, hey, I need to put antifreeze in it now. Let me dump it in there. Hey, my tire pressure's low. And then they have a pressure of somebody watching these sensors that's calling the driver and saying, hey, bud, you got to put antifreeze in it. Well, yeah, the alarm just came off. I got it. I see that. I need to do it. So, again, what we're putting into our trucks, is it really necessary that we need that? Are we putting it into one, help fix the driver to where he has less responsibility? Or is it two, putting it in there for micromanaging because somebody doesn't trust the driver to be going down the road with a $200,000 piece of equipment? Like, these are all things that when we have these conversations, we look at and go, why are we doing what we're doing? Why does it not make sense to put a microwave in a truck or a
Sean, we're losing you, brother. Yeah, we've lost Sean. Or we've lost me, one of the two. Oh wow. Damn, that's hot. All right, well, user hold on, I'm gonna have to cool down my phone. Holy smokes.
Their fridges to put their own fridges in, and they're bigger.
Yeah. Well, user 53, thanks for joining, brother. We're gonna get going now, okay?
fresh food they can put in there, these are the things that, as truck drivers that are people in this industry, we should be coming together, demanding Freightliner to put this stuff in there, not putting in, the safety features that they feel that's safe for them, because it's at the end of the day, right? They're spending that money. And if you look at trucks from 5 years ago, what the prices are to $300,000 season, this year, that's a insanely amount jump up because it gave a couple of extra features. And you know, when we had a conversation with the mirrors up in front of the hood, they're all like, "Hey, you know what? It's a good thing to have that so a driver can see the blind spots when things are going." And I'm like, "Yeah, but guys, you know why they really put those mirrors up there for? It's so that way when they have a camera pointing out at the road, it hits that mirror and they can see back in what the driver's doing. So it's all like that's the reason why they did it. That's why they implemented it. It wasn't because of a driver. It's going to get a safety part of it. It was more. And now we can control the driver and see what they're doing and they get into an accident. Now, are they going to need a nuclear verdict on it? You know, how do we control and make less damaging for the company instead of it being let's support our drivers, let's stand for what they're going to be, let's stand behind them if something does happen. You know, that's the first thing I always say. I jump in that I'm the first one to fight for a driver. And if you work for me, I'm going to be out there going, hey, you know what? Even if you were wrong, I'm still going to be able to, like, hey, let's find the right in this because, you know, you're out here sacrificing that time away from your family and you deserve it. You deserve to have somebody in your corner fighting for you at all times. So it's great.
Amen. I tried to bring up OG. Uh, I guess he's from Europe, and he tried to come in. I don't know where he went. Let me try to find him.
Oh, that's the thing. I don't think anybody can hear you.
Ah, can you hear me now or no? Hello.
So,
All right, hold on. How about now? Yes or no?
so,
All right. You just talk, bro, okay? Let's see. We'll bring up Bigfoot.
there you go. I can hear Bigfoot. We just can't hear Vince. Vince is having some difficulties over there. Anyway, so welcome in. Tonight we've been talking about mental health. I don't know if you've been following along, but we've been trying to find out what 3 things in the industry that triggers mental health, and what's the 3 things that reduce mental health as these things occur, whether it be finances, whether it be obesity. We talked about the clothing we wear, you know, those things. What would be the 3 things that you would say that triggers mental health? And what would be the 3 things to less burnout a driver out there?
For me, it would be my finances because I kind of got screwed a few times after I got out of the Navy and became a truck driver. I tried to lease out, got screwed with the IRS for 26 grand. And when I left the company I work for now, went to transport. I worked for them for a couple of years before they closed their doors, which really kind of screwed me. And I ended up over Schneider, holding liquid ASP, and that I ended up getting screwed even more because there was a lot of times where I was sitting out waiting for it to get so for me personally, it's the finances that get to me. It just barely started to break even. Still barely get that break even with my mortgage. My family plan self I pay for that. But she lives with me. She takes care of like the other household bills, which isn't much. I'm trying to save my bank account.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Every so often.
Can you guys hear me now or no?
I still can't hear you, brother.
Okay. So how have you, you know, how did you get from that? You know, like the